Falmouth looks to end its 4-game losing skid as it hits the road once again to take on the Brewster Whitecaps this evening here in Brewster, Massachusetts. Good evening, everybody. David Adar alongside Matt Levine here from Stony Brook Field for the first time this season. Falmouth taking on the Brewster Whitecaps again here in Brewster. And Matt, let's jump right into it. It's been a rough few days for this Commodores team. Like I mentioned, coming in 4 straight losses for head coach Jeff Trundy's team. And last night, it looked like they were going to end it, and then YD snatched it from the Commodores late in that ball game.
Well, last night was really the first time all season that the bullpen blew the game. And we saw 3 hits last night from the Commodores. All 3 of them went over the fence. 3 home runs. Only a couple outs were recorded in the outfield. So really, if you break it down, it'd probably be single digits to the amount of times that the ball left the infield last night off the Commodores' bats. That can't happen. That's not how you win baseball games. And then the starting pitching has been so rocky all season. Yesterday, a decent start from Antoine Jean, but after that, a really good outing from Lucas Gordon, and then Jackson Phipps came in, and he dealt up a 3-run shot after a hit by pitch and a walk. And things like that cannot happen, especially when you're struggling now, losing 4 straight games. But the real story of the last 4 games has been they either pitch well or they hit well. They haven't done both at the same time. And when they do both at the same time this season, I would say twice they probably have done both, and they won those games. So a complete effort is what they need to just do to get back on track here tonight.
And I think we could both agree the last time that they had a complete performance on both sides of the ball was last Tuesday, a week ago, at Chatham, in what was an 8-1 victory for the Commodores over the Anglers. But the offense at one point this season, early on in the opening week, was one of the top offenses in the CCBL. The offense was electric. They were scoring runs early and often, but it's been a far cry from that since. Last night, just 4 runs brought across. The night before against Katuitt, 3 runs brought across, 3 runs the game before that. The bat's suddenly here for this Commodores team going cold, and they probably want to wake them up soon to get out of this skid.
Yeah, and just like last night, the fireworks were there, but they were few and far between. 3 hits, 3 home runs. In a way, you'd think, yeah, they're hitting the ball pretty well, but you got to get guys on base, and you got to bring those guys around to score. You can't just hit a solo home run and expect to win a game. So when you have 2 solo home runs and then a 2-run homer, those are the only 4 runs you get. They only stranded 1 base runner last night. That was in the bottom of the 9th. A game-tying run was stranded on first base, and, I mean, that's kind of the story. They got guys on a couple times on a home run, and that was it. They really didn't have guys standing on base too often to have them even strand on base at the end of an inning. So tonight it's got to be stringing at-bats together, stringing innings together, and just win each inning. That's got to be the mentality. You can't win all 9 unless you win each one in a row.
Falmouth had only 7 total base runners last night, and like Matt mentioned earlier, 3 hits, all of them home runs, and then 4 guys walked and reached, but otherwise the offense was very quiet last night. Only 3 balls left the infield, several strikeouts from the YD pitching staff. And taking a look then at the Falmouth pitching staff, last night I think we could say another good start for this team on the road, something that's been very consistent this season. But Jackson Phipps was almost solid in his 2 innings, or just about 2 innings of work, but in the end gives up a hit by pitch, a walk, and then a go-ahead 3-run home run to Wyatt Hoffman of YD. And in the end, the Red Sox come away with that 5-4 victory. Just a heartbreaking fashion for this Falmouth team.
Well, when those things happen with 2 outs, it's even more heartbreaking. And Phipps was looking so solid. Then he hits a batter that we thought, honestly, probably hit the knob of the bat, Briley Knight. And it's the 9-hitter, too, last night. Gets hit by a pitch in the hands. And he didn't even react. It looked like it sounded like it hit the knob of his bat. But nonetheless, you got to come back. You didn't get the call your way, and you got to attack the next guy at the top of the order, and you walk Peyton Graham. Then you have to face Wyatt Hoffman with 2 outs, guys on first and second. If you roll up a ground ball, probably go in your favor. Instead, a 3-run bomb to dead center is what happened. That's the second time this season that Phipps has given up a 3-run home run in his 2nd inning of work in relief. So that's where he really struggles. The first inning of his outings have been so solid, but once he goes into the 2nd innings, we've seen twice in the 2 times he's done it, he's given up a 3-run homer. And with 2 outs, to give 2 free passes and then have that bomb happen, that just takes all kinds of momentum away from your team, not only defensively and pitching, but also offensively. And we saw when they came out on offense in the next half inning, I mean, they just looked like there was no life in the team. So things like that really can't happen with 2 outs, especially after the 2 free passes.
And talk about the start last night that Antoine Jean had. He went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, and only 1 run came across in his Commodores debut. But I think we could say a solid foundation built for his future outings with Falmouth.
Yeah, he threw a lot of strikes, and that was noticeable early. He was attacking hitters early. He just gave up that RBI double in the first inning. After that, he was good. Only allowed 1 base runner in his second inning of work, so he struck out 1. He didn't really dominate too much, but he threw strikes, and he allowed his fielders to make the play.
Well, our sideline reporter, Joanne Bethay, had an opportunity to catch up with the Crimson Tide pitcher earlier before today's ballgame, and let's hear from both of them here right now.
I'm Joanne Bethay here with Antoine Jean. Yesterday, your first outing as a Commodore. How was it?
It felt pretty good to get back on the mound. That was the main thing for me. I pitched a lot. I pitched a little bit for Alabama this year, and I've been out for a while. So just coming here and get back on the mound was great for me.
This team right now seems to be in kind of a slump. What adjustments do you think need to be made?
There's been a lot of new guys coming in, so everybody needs to a little bit get used to each other and just keep playing baseball like we always do.
What are your thoughts on today's matchup against Brewster?
Obviously, we try and get out that slump, so we're trying to get some runs early in the game and play some good baseball all around as a team.
Awesome, thank you.
And again there, that our sideline reporter, Joanne Bethay, alongside Antoine Jean. And in that interview, he talked about how he was happy with his start last night, felt good to get back out on the mound, especially after all the injuries that he faced. And I think him involved, and then he also mentioned some new guys keep arriving with this team. After he pitched last night, Lucas Gordon came in and delivered delivered his first solid outing out of the bullpen for these Commodores. So all around, the pitching staff for this Falmouth team starting to get locked down. They've been very solid on the road all season. It's been the home woes has been the issue for this Falmouth team on the road this season. The pitching has an ERA of 3.23, allowed a total of 19 earned runs, and allowing opponents to hit just .215. So tonight, Jack Jasiak takes the mound for his second start of the season for Falmouth, and Matt, he'll be looking to keep this Brewster team from reaching early and often, and for helping his offense get going early.
Well, that's another thing that pitchers on the Commodores have struggled with, retiring the first batter in an inning. So tonight, Jasiak has to come out, maybe even try to extend his start a little bit. Haven't really seen too many starters get deep in their outings for this team. And if he can do that tonight, he'll be in a good spot. And he had a decent start in his debut at Wareham. That seems like so long ago now. But as we get into really the thick of things, that was on June 28th. He went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and only 3 runs. And all 3 runs came in the first 2 innings. So, like you said, getting off to a good start is what he needs to do tonight here in his second outing.
That was a 3-3 tie for the Commodores back 8 days ago up at Spillane Field in Wareham. And again, this Commodores team here in Brewster to take on the Whitecaps for the first time this season. The first of 3 meetings between Falmouth and Brewster, and the first of 2 meetings here from Stony Brook Field. Let's flip it around now to this Brewster team who comes in 6-4-2 on the season, sitting at second place in the East behind YD. Brewster with 14 total points on the season. And the Whitecaps have won 2 in a row, coming off a solid win last night at Orleans, a 5-2 victory for this team in which they combined for 10 hits to end up scoring those 5 runs and, again, get the victory there. So a tough stretch here for Falmouth, having to play the first-place team in the East, YD, last night, and they face the second team in the East in Brewster tonight.
And guess who they play tomorrow? The best team in the league in Bourne. So a tough stretch. You got to turn it around tonight. And at this point, I think Coach Trundy talked about it yesterday, that just every team is so close together. Every team, no team is bad in this league, and if they want to get out of that kind of this slump that they're in right now, just got to come out strong. The pitching has to set the tone, or the hitting rather has to set the tone, and then the pitching can come up and follow it. And to get out of the 4-game skid, you're not going to avoid the best teams in the league. You got to go head-to-head with them. So that's what they have to do here tonight against Brewster.
And looking at this Brewster team, their pitching has been their foundation for success so far this season. 46 total runs allowed, which is the second fewest in the league to Bourne. So needless to say, for Falmouth to try and score some of that offense tonight, things may be a bit tough, but they're going to have to find ways to create those runs.
While Pete Hansen starting on the mound, the left-hander, 6'2", 205 out of the University of Texas. This guy's an absolute stud. I think he might be one of the best, maybe probably had the best college season that we've seen, at least numbers-wise, coming in to the Cape. 19 appearances, 14 starts for the Longhorns. He went 9-1 on the mound with a 1.88 ERA. Pitched 91 innings, had 80 Ks, only 23 walks, and hitters hit just over 200 against him. So this guy's good, and he has experience pitching in 3 of the NCAA tournament games that Texas had in their College World Series run. So he's going to come in here and try to really set the tone, but they're going to have a hard time against him. And whether they get shut down for 5 innings, if Hansen's able to go that long, they've got to be able to come back and fight out of it. But if they're able to set the tone early offensively, that's even better, especially against a good arm in Pete Hansen.
He was activated just a couple days ago, back on the 4th of July, and he makes his first start of the season here for Brewster tonight, his first appearance as well. And let's give you the lineups now for both sides coming into tonight's contest. We'll start things off with Falmouth, who will be hitting first tonight, back on the road. Luke Boyers leads things off, and he plays in center field. Braden Taylor bats second. He plays at third. Jace Borfin, yet another start, plays out in right. He hits third. Michael Curiali, the cleanup man, who also plays at second. Chris Armstrong, the 5-hitter, back in the lineup tonight after not getting the start last night. He plays at first. Taylor Smith doing the catching tonight. He bats sixth. Bryson Ware, tonight's designated hitter, he bats seventh. Alex Sayre, the 8-hitter, is playing out in left field. And Cody Colden rounds out this lineup, playing at short tonight. Flip things over now to Brewster, who leads things off with Colin Davis, the center fielder out of Wofford. Jake Thompson, the third baseman out of Oklahoma State, bats second. Zach Neto, the Campbell Camel, plays at short and bats third. Spencer Jones, the cleanup hitter from Vanderbilt, plays out in right field. John Gusenberg bats fifth. He's tonight's designated hitter. Will Simpson out of the University of Washington, tonight's first baseman, and he bats sixth. Porter Brown out in left field, bats seventh. Nick Biddison, the 8-hitter, does tonight's catching, and Trey Faltini, the 9-hitter, rounds things out in this Brewster lineup. And again, we mentioned that Pete Hansen gets his first appearance of the season and his first start for this Brewster team. And on the mound to combat him will be Jack Jasiak for Falmouth, who will be making his second start of the season. So another East versus West matchup here for this Falmouth team. Commodores come in 1-2-1 this season against the Eastern Division. Brewster 2-2 against the West. And both teams meeting for the first time this year here tonight. Commodores have now played, well, including tonight, will have played at 6 of the ballparks in the league. They'll cross off number 7 tomorrow night at Bourne. And then the only ones remaining, Orleans, as well as Harwich. Actually, those are the only other 2. So getting closer and closer here to first pitch between these two sides. The meeting of the minds happening at home plate. The head coaches and the umpires exchanging lineups. Tonight's umpires, Tom Ryberg behind home plate. Chuck Furlong is at first, and Larry Rosenberg is at third. Tonight's 3-man officiating crew. And the head coach for Brewster, Jamie Shevchek, in his 7th season with Brewster, helped lead the team to the 2017 CCBL Championship. And on the other side, it's one of the all-timers in the league, and head coach Jeff Trundy, his 23rd season for this Falmouth Commodores team. So we get closer and closer to first pitch here. Running a little bit behind schedule here in Brewster. First pitch was set to be at 5, but slowly getting closer and closer to that. Matt, another ballpark here tonight that we're playing at. How does it rank among the list of ballparks we've been to thus far in the league?
I think in terms of field surface, it's up there at the top, at least by how it looks right now. Pretty shallow down the lines, 315 to left field. The right field dimensions are blocked from my vantage point currently, but decent size, pretty shallow in the corners, decent size to center, and the dirt looks nice. For broadcasters, though, I would probably put this down at the bottom because the wireless connection is one of the worst we've run into, so it's going to be a little bit slow on our end for at least statistics and things like that, getting official calls, stuff like that. But we'll make it work tonight, and we got to just play the hand we're dealt.
do the best to bring all that to you fans back at home. Before we continue things along, we'll step aside here for the playing of our national anthem here from Stony Brook Field.
She's a lifelong member of the Whitecaps family and daughter of the assistant town manager, Donna Kalanick. Annika?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and against red glare the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
So our national anthem there, and Brewster has taken the field for tonight's contest against the Falmouth Commodores. Again, Pete Hansen on the mound for the first time this season for the Whitecaps. And Brewster out in the field is wearing their teal tops with Brewster written across the chest, white numbering and lettering on their jerseys, white pants and black socks. Also going with the camouflage hats tonight, the ones that you typically see on Red Shirt Friday. Brewster bringing them out this evening. And for Falmouth, their typical road uniforms, black tops, gray pants, maroon socks, and maroon numbering and lettering with Falmouth written across the chest. For this Falmouth team, second straight road game for the Commodores, and in the midst of a 3-game stretch away from the Gov tomorrow night at Bourne, before the off day Thursday, and then back at home to take on YD on Friday. Weather here is in the high 70s. It's been a warm day across the Cape, and that weather here tonight in Brewster as well. It's been very windy today. Gusts here pregame, and you may even hear them in our headsets at times throughout the game. Gusts have been in the mid-20 miles per hour range, so wind will definitely be a factor as the wind carries out towards center field currently. And it's sunny over here at Stony Brook Field. No lights, though, so that's the reason for the 5 o'clock start. Second straight night here that the Commodores get things going at 5 o'clock. Brewster, one of 3 teams in the league to not have lights at its stadium. So the final warm-up pitch thrown by Pete Hansen, and Luke Boyers will come up to the plate to lead things off for this Falmouth Commodores team, trying to snap a 4-game losing skid coming into tonight's ball game. Falmouth 4-6-2 on the season, currently sitting at 4th place in the Western Division with its 10 points on the year. So Luke Boyers takes a look at his bat, couple taps of home plate, and now he looks out towards Pete Hansen, the left-handed pitcher out of Texas. First pitch comes home, and it's high and away for ball 1. First pitch at 5:05 here from Stony Brook Field. And we're underway in the first meeting of the year between Brewster and Falmouth. Hansen from the windup, turns home and delivers a low ball. Count sits at 2-0 now on Luke Boyers. Boyers went 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday in the loss to YD. He's hitting 190 on the season. Trying to get back to his hitting ways, and he fouls off strike 1 back behind the backstop, or back to the backstop. Count now 2-1.
Typical leadoff hitter, and Luke Boyer swinging at the first strike that he sees, and that's the one you want to attack in a 2-0 hitter's count. Go after the first pitch, but he just fouls it off.
And the 2-1 delivery way upstairs as it's not even close to getting into the strike zone. Now 3-1 here on Luke Boyers. Boyers his fourth straight start in this leadoff spot for head coach Jeff Trundy's team. And the 3-1 delivery now from Hansen is just outside. And so a 5-pitch walk worked by Luke Boyers to start this ball game off. And the leadoff man aboard for Falmouth.
Get the leadoff man on, you win each inning, and you have an opportunity to win each inning that way. Much easier than you would if you don't get the leadoff man on. So, especially to lead off the game, a 5-pitch walk, a really good at-bat by Boyers, didn't chase out of the zone, and now you pass it off to Braden Taylor.
So TCU hitter to TCU hitter. As from the stretch, Pete Hansen looks towards first, and now a breaking ball that comes in for strike one on Braden Taylor. Well, with Boyers reaching the leadoff man aboard here for Falmouth, that's something they only did twice yesterday against YD. A walk by Anthony Hall in the second and a walk by Jace Borfin in the ninth. Were the only two leadoff guys to get on base for Falmouth in that loss yesterday. 0-1 delivery now from Hansen is hit on a line into right center field. It's falling, and it's going to fall in front of Colin Davis as that one hops to him. Luke Boyers in safely at second. And so two batters, both have reached here for Falmouth, one via a walk and one via a hit.
Braden Taylor goes 0 for 4 last night. He erases that with the first hit of the game here. And now runners on first and second with your 3-hitter up. Just a big situation here in the top of the first.
So Falmouth doing a good job early here of getting on base. That brings up Jace Borfin, keeping things in the Big 12 for this Falmouth lineup to start things off. Hansen looks back towards second, and the delivery home is on the outside corner for strike one. Borfin hitting .342 on the season, the top hitter in this Commodores lineup. Went 1 for 2 yesterday with a couple of walks and a home run. One of the 3 hits that the Commodores recorded yesterday. Hansen holds the ball belt high, and now the 0-1 delivery. A breaking ball again in for strike 2. So 2 pitches here to Borfin. He has swung at neither of them, and the count sits at 0-2 here on the left-handed hitter. Boyers leads off of second. Taylor leads off of first here in the top of the first from Stony Brook Field. Hansen will look back towards second, and now the 0-2 delivery home. A half swing by Borfin, but he's able to make contact and foul it off into the netting behind home plate. Count remains 0-2. Borfin with 7 extra base hits on the season, 13 total RBIs. Been one of the best at the plate for head coach Jeff Trundy's team. Couple of looks from Hansen, and now the 0-2 delivery popped up behind home plate. It's now over towards the Brewster dugout. Wynn bringing it back towards fair play. And just at the edge of foul territory, Jake Thompson, the third baseman, gets under it. He lost his hat while making that catch, but he's able to make the grab for out number 1.
Every single time that Jace Borfin either makes an out in the early going of a game or you'll just see him kind of come out of the dugout to talk to whoever's going to lead off the next inning in the second. He just goes over to Chris Armstrong, who's now on deck behind Curiale, tells him exactly what's being thrown on the mound by Pete Hansen. And that's a good teammate right there, whether it's at college or at any level, if you're Jace Borfin.
First pitch for Michael Curiale, fouled out of play along the right side. And it hits off of the school behind us here, an elementary school that Brewster shares a field with. Count sits at 0-1 now on Michael Curiale. Hansen will look back towards second where Luke Boyers leads off, dancing around, and now the 0-1 delivery home. Hit back up the middle, over to his right is the second baseman, Trey Faltine, and he touches second by himself, then goes to first, and they get the double play to end the inning. So despite Falmouth getting the first 2 guys on base, nothing else done at the plate. As a pop-out and then a double play ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the first here from Stony Brook Field. Still scoreless between the Commodores and the Whitecaps.
Vacation Rentals. Pretty Picky and Monomoy, the team with everything you need to hit a real estate home run in Brewster. Whitecaps, the Falmouth Commodores, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the ballpark. We also ask parents to keep their children off the roofs of the dugouts, away from the batting cages, and out of the bullpen areas. Please throw your rubbish into the barrels and recycle the aluminum cans in special barrels located around the ballpark. I'd also like to remind you that this is a tobacco-free ballpark, and the Massachusetts Education Reform Act prohibits the use of tobacco products at this location. We greatly appreciate your assistance in honoring this tobacco-free request. Also, camera and video cameras are permitted inside Stony Brook Field for personal photos that cannot be used to reproduce the game, players, or on-field events without the express written consent of the Brewster Whitecaps. Use of camera and video equipment must not interfere with other fans' enjoyment of the game. Starting on the road for the Falmouth Commodores is number 43.
Bottom of the first here from Stony Brook Field. First meeting of the season between Falmouth and Brewster. Falmouth going scoreless in the top half of the inning. And as we move to the bottom half of the inning, Jack Jasiak on the mound for the second time this season for the Commodores. Both of his starts coming on the road. His last start 8 days ago in Wareham. A 3-3 tie for this Commodores side. And he'll be looking to continue what's been strong starting pitching and really pitching overall on the road for this Falmouth team.
Leading off for the Whitecaps, the center fielder from Wofford College, number 26, Colin Davis.
So leading things off for this Brewster team, Colin Davis out of Wofford College down in South Carolina. A right-handed hitter steps into the box and looks on at Jasiak. First pitch home to him, he shows bunt, and it's fouled just behind Taylor Smith doing tonight's catching for strike one.
See Braden Taylor playing back at third base. Try to bunt for a hit if you're Colin Davis. Just couldn't get it down, but Taylor was well behind the bag at third. Now he'll move in between the baseline.
So count sits at 0-1 now on Colin Davis. Davis hitting .359 this season with Brewster, 14 for 39 at the plate. And the 0-1 delivery from Jasiak is low and outside for ball one. This past season with Wofford, Davis hit .351 and had 45 RBIs in his 51 total games played. Started 50 of those for the Terriers. And now the 1-1 delivery from Jasiak, a fastball in at the heart of the plate. And the count now 1-2 here on Davis. Well, Davis, a guy you certainly want to keep off of the base paths. Once he reaches, he has 10 stolen bases this season, which leads the league by a pretty significant margin. So a very speedy guy out there. 1-2 now from Jasiak, and it's popped foul along the right side behind us and out of play. Count remains 1-2.
Davis played for the Katuitt Kettleers in 2019. Now plays for Brewster in 2021 with no season last year, so a veteran to the Cape of sorts.
Originally out of Roswell, Georgia. Been a good hitter here this season for Brewster. The 1-2 delivery is able to paint the outside corner, and the strikeout there for Jack Jasiak to start things off as he's able to set down Colin Davis.
That was a good slider from Jasiak, and he just painted that on the outside corner. That goes away from the right-handed hitter on a righty-righty matchup. That's hard to hit because you got to take it the other way and hit it into right field if you're a right-handed hitter. And if you lay off of it, it's probably going to paint the outside corner, and that's what Davis did, and he goes down looking.
That brings up the third baseman, Jake Thompson, a left-handed hitter for this Brewster team. Looks on at Jasiak, and the first pitch here from the South Florida pitcher is hit high in the air into center field. Boyers with just a couple steps back, and easy to make the grab for out number 2. So One pitch there to Thompson, is able to pick up the second out of this inning. And that brings up Zach Neto.
That's how you follow up a strikeout. You come and get the first pitch, very next pitch you get it for an out. That just goes your way. And now you got 2 quick outs after 1 strikeout, feeling all sorts of confidence on the mound.
By the way, center field is 395 feet to get a home run. So a deep field here that Brewster plays at. Going to keep a lot of balls in play as Zach Neto digs in. And the first pitch he sees, he pops up foul along the right side. The wind keeping it in play. And it looks like they made the grab out there outside of our viewing point. But Chris Armstrong is able to reel it in. That ball was actually heading out of play, and the wind blowing so hard kept it in. So Armstrong able to make the grab, and just a couple pitches to get those last couple of outs of this inning. We move to the second now. Still scoreless here with Falmouth and Brewster.
If your favorite restaurant or fish market isn't offering Brewster oysters, we can ask why. Why not provide customers with the freshest, most delicious oysters available? Why not support a local, hard-working family business that loves and respects the beauty of Cape Cod beef? If you haven't already, please try some oysters from Brewster Oysters. After the game, how about a cold brew or something delicious to eat at the Brewster Pizza House and Sports Bar? Give them a call right now at 508-896-3341 for a takeout. Your homemade pizza, calzone grinder, wing, or wrap will be ready when you are. The Brewster Pizza House and Sports Bar. Number 508-896-3341 on Route 6A in the same plaza as Cumberland Farms. Build and renovate, residential or commercial, Brian P. Wheeler Construction, building Brewster for 25 years.
We move to the second here from Stony Brook Field between Falmouth and Brewster. Falmouth bringing up 5, 6, and 7 here in the second. Still scoreless between these two sides. Chris Armstrong, who made the last out, last inning, will come up to the plate now to lead things off for this Falmouth side. Armstrong, Smith, and Ware set to come up for the Commodores. And Armstrong digs in, looking for his first base hit of the season as a Commodore. Even trying to reach for the first time. He's 0 for 9 at the plate with 5 strikeouts thus far for the Commodores. First pitch here of the inning from Pete Hansen, bounces in 5 feet before home. And so that's ball 1 on Armstrong. Armstrong yesterday didn't get the start, but he came into the ballgame as a pinch hitter in the 9th for Michael Curiali and ended up striking out for the final out of yesterday's loss to YD. The 1-0 now is hit on the left side through the gap, and that's through for a base hit. Chris Armstrong with his first base hit as a Commodore, and for the second straight inning, Falmouth with the leadoff man aboard as Chris Armstrong picks up the single.
Well, Armstrong attacked a fastball up in the zone, and he hit it hard. And it got through past the diving shortstop, Zach Neto, at short in the hole going towards third base. That was hit hard in that hole. He really had no shot at it, but still tried to dive to make the good effort on the play. But really good piece of hitting for Armstrong. And yet again, the leadoff man getting on. We really haven't seen this too often.
So Falmouth did it twice all of yesterday's ball game. They've already done it twice here in tonight's contest. And that brings up Taylor Smith now with Chris Armstrong leading off of first. Smith yesterday 1 for 3 with a home run to bring home Falmouth's first runs of the ball game. Hansen from the stretch comes home with it, and on one hop it goes off of the shin of Jake Thompson, and rounding second, a big turn from Armstrong, but he's going to end up holding there. I'm not sure whether or not that ball was actually on the ground before it got to the glove of Thompson, but regardless, it went off of his shin foot area, bounced well out into the outfield, and so that allows Smith to reach.
That's a single for Taylor Smith. That was probably the hardest hit ball we've seen tonight. And Smith hits it on one short hop to the third baseman, Thompson. It caroms off of his knee all the way into center field. I haven't seen a ball travel off a body part that far, but it keeps Armstrong at second. It stayed well enough closer to the infield.
So a couple of singles to start off this inning for Falmouth, and now Bryson Ware takes ball 1 upstairs.
So once Taylor Smith got that first home run last night, now he gets another hit tonight. Maybe things will start picking up offensively for him as well as Bryson Ware.
Now 3 total hits on the season, and the ball gets away from the catcher, Nick Biddison, but no advancement of the runners. The backstop here at Stony Brook Field is got a little bit of grass, and then it turns into a gravel-like substance, very similar to what we have back at the Gov in Falmouth. And the count now 2-0 here on Bryson Ware, with runners leading off of first and second. A breaking ball falls low and inside. Now 3-0 here on Ware. Falmouth was able to get the first 2 guys to reach back in the first before the inning ended up ending. And now the 3-0 delivery to Ware is in for strike 1. Zach Neto, the shortstop, his hat blew off and started just carrying and kept going into left field. He goes back to retrieve it now, but an idea there of just how windy it is. Again, gusts here have been in the low 20s thus far today. 3-1 delivery from Neto on the ground on the left side. A slow roller they go to second for the first out, and then the throw to first not in time. So Chris Armstrong moves to third, out at second Taylor Smith, and in safely at first on the fielder's choice is Bryson Ware.
Ware broke his bat a little bit there. Just that you can hear it when he makes contact with the bat, comes off slowly, and that almost helped him a little bit in a way to beat it out at first base instead of it being a 6-4-3 double play. It's just a fielder's choice, so he's going to have to get a new piece of wood next time he comes up to the plate, though.
So 1 gone now, and runners at the corners for Alex Sayre here on the top of the second, and a breaking ball falls low and inside on Sayre for ball 1. Sayre, his first appearance in this lineup since June 30th in the loss to Hyannis. He's 0 for his last 15 at the plate with 8 strikeouts, but an opportunity here to bring home the first run of the ballgame, and he hits this one over to the left side, fielded by Jake Thompson, and then as he went to second for the double play, he lost the ball, and so everybody's safe. Chris Armstrong comes in to score the first run of the ballgame, and it's now 1-0 Falmouth here against Brewster.
Well, that was almost an inning-ending double play, but the third baseman, Thompson, couldn't find it on the transfer. He dropped it, and the run comes in to score. Things are starting to go, at least early in this game, the way of the Commodores, which we haven't really seen too often this season.
So now with Ware on second and Alex Sayre on first, Cody Colden, the 9-hitter, steps in here. And he takes ball 1 above the letters here from Pete Hansen. So Hansen, who had a solid season with Texas this past year, an ERA below 2. But tonight, getting roughed up early by this Commodores team. As the 1-0 now from Hansen, big swing and a miss from Colden, and the count evens up at 1-1. Falmouth with 3 hits already in this ballgame. All but 2 batters have thus far reached base. Jace Borfin, Michael Curiali haven't reached, and then we'll see what Colden does here at the plate. Currently with a 1-1 count here in this at-bat. A look back towards second. And now the delivery from the stretch, again hit on the left side on a couple hops to the shortstop, Zach Neto. Flipped to second in time, and then the throw across the diamond to first, also in time. So a double play to end the inning, but Commodores able to strike first in this ball game as they get Chris Armstrong across after his leadoff single, and it's 1-0 Falmouth as we go to the bottom of the second here in Brewster.
But of course, you can't win if you don't play. So buy your 50/50 raffle tickets early and very often. Besides the money, there's a ton of other prizes that you can win. Check them out on the board by the data we have set up for the 50/50 by the press box. Thank you for supporting the Brewster Whitecaps. So they call them registers or events, but when you see the hardwood grills made by Cape Cod Air Grills, you'll call them beautiful. If you're building or renovating, don't settle for ordinary metal grills. Do something special with hardwood grills from Cape Cod Air Grills. Based on Cape Cod and serving contractors and homeowners worldwide. Cape Cod Air Grills. The Cape Cod 5-cent savings bank, founded in 1855, back when baseball was in its infancy. A bank committed to serving its customers by understanding their financial goals and providing quality financial products with the highest level of integrity and superb sponsor of the Cape Cod booth and the Brewster Whitecaps.
Bottom of the second here from Brewster in a familiar spot for this Commodores team, leading in this ball game. Something that they've done in all but 2 road games this season is score before the home side, and they do it again here tonight as Brewster will bring up 4, 5, and 6 here in the second. Spencer Jones leads things off. Jones playing in his 3rd game here for Brewster out of Vanderbilt. And the first pitch from Jasiak is hit in the air on the left side. Going over to his right is Alex Sayre, the left fielder, and he's under it to make the running grab for out number 1. So Jasiak has faced 4 batters so far. All have picked up outs, and he also hasn't had to work too much.
Well, he's picked up 3 outs, the last 3 outs on 3 pitches. It was 1 pitch to Thompson to get him to fly out to center, 1 pitch to Neto to get him to pop out to Armstrong at first, and Jones faces 1 pitch and flies out to left. Jasiak really happy with those results and how quickly he's getting them.
That brings up Sean Gusenberg, tonight's designated hitter, and he takes ball 1 from Jasiak. So for the first time in a while, Jasiak can have to throw more than 1 pitch to a hitter here for Brewster. Jasiak in his 2nd start of the season for Falmouth. Pitched 8 days ago in the tie to Wareham, and the 1-0 delivery is able to catch the outside corner for strike 1.
Commodores in the middle of a 4-game losing streak in which the opponent scored first in all 4 games. Tonight, though, they get the first run on the board. Maybe things will be a little bit different as we head through the rest of this game.
1-1 now from the right-handed pitcher is on the ground over to Taylor at 3rd. Hesitates on his throw, but is able to get it out in time and to Chris Armstrong for out number 2.
Routine play for Taylor. He kind of stumbled just a little bit trying to field it, but once he did field it, he realized how much time he had, so that was part of the gather and the hesitation that he had to make an easy throw over to first.
So it's now 5 up, 5 down that Jasiak has faced, and that brings up Will Simpson, the first baseman for this Brewster team. And the first pitch to him, he fouls into the backstop for strike 1. Simpson hitting .226 on the season. He's 7 for 31 at the plate. And trying to pick up the first base hit or even first base runner of the ball game for this Brewster side, as the second pitch of this at-bat catches the inside corner, and it's now 0-2 quickly here on Simpson. Jasiak already with 1 strikeout tonight, then registered 3 straight pop-outs and then a ground out in the last at-bat. Trying here on an 0-2 delivery, just high and outside. A good pitch there from Jasiak to make the count 1-2. That wind picking back up, tailing out towards center field, where some fans sit beyond the fence deep here in the field of play, or outside the field of play, as the 1-2 pitch low and outside. Now 2-2 here on Simpson. Jasiak has his sign, and now comes set with the ball belt high. 2-2 delivery from the USF pitcher is hit on a line into left center field, tracking over to his right, leaping, and he dives and makes the catch. What a play by Luke Boyers out in left center field. The Brewster fans here are applauding him for that effort. He went up and almost double leaped in midair to make that catch. Probably the best catch of the season by a defender from Falmouth. And that ends the inning as the Whitecaps go down in order yet again, 1-2-3. So we move to the 3rd, and maybe that highlight play will continue to jolt these Falmouth bats. It's 1-0 Falmouth here from Stony Brook Field.
Of a truly professional job. Certified painters, we do painting, you do right. How about lunch or dinner at a Baja-style beach shack using fresh local ingredients? Guapo's is home to the famous fish taco, overstock burritos, fresh guacamole, and something for everyone. Sample the best frozen margarita and sit back on our deck to enjoy our casual, friendly atmosphere and outdoor dining. Order online at guaposcapecod.com. Guapo's is just up the street at 239 Underpass Road here in Brewster. Home Center and Vineyard Home Center serve all of Cape Cod and the island of Martha's Vineyard. Here you'll find everything you need to decorate, restore, rebuild, or construct. Whether you're a professional, own a commercial business, or are a homeowner, you'll find what you want competitively priced with free advice and delivery at Cape Home Centers.
Top of the third here, and Falmouth back to the top of the lineup, leading 1-0 in this ball game as Luke Boyers, who just made the play of the season for Falmouth, leads things off here for the Commodores. He went completely horizontal on that play to end the bottom of the second. The fans here from Brewster were applauding it. It was just such a good catch, Matt.
That was one of the best catches I've ever seen at any level in person. Just went full sprint to the gap and flew like Superman almost to make that catch. Yesterday he nearly came close to robbing a home run, and the fences at YD are tall, but I didn't ever think that Boyers could ever get that high up and jump that high, and tonight it falls in his glove in play, so that was an incredible catch.
We'll have to ask him about that play post-game as he has a 1-0 count now, and the pitch from Hansen is high and away, now 2-0 here on Boyers. So far in this ball game, just about everything going the Commodores' way. Already 3 hits in the ball game, leading this game 1-0, and the defense has been pretty rock solid thus far as the 2-0 is outside now 3-0 here on Boyers. Boyers had a 5-pitch walk back in the first to start off the ball game, and ahead well here 3-0 from Pete Hansen. The pitch comes home, and it's inside, so a 4-pitch walk this time around for Luke Boyers. And for the third straight inning, Falmouth has the leadoff man aboard as Boyer stands on first.
Boyers with a 5-pitch walk his first time up, then a 4-pitch walk this time up. Just laying off pitches at the top of the order. You swing at that first strike, that's it. If you lay off, you're going to get on base, and doing a really good job not to chase out of the zone.
Here's Braden Taylor, who picked up a single back in the first. And Hansen from the stretch with a deep breath as he looks over towards first. And now the left-handed pitcher comes home for strike one here on Taylor. Taylor yesterday went 0 for 4, and it was only his second game of the season where he didn't reach base. But he picked up a single in his first at-bat tonight. And so now has reached base yet again, and again, all but 2 games this year for Falmouth. Throw over to first, but in standing back up is Luke Boyers. And now Hansen set as he slowly raises his head looking over towards first. And now the 0-1 delivery is able to catch the outside corner again. And it's quickly 0-2 here on Taylor. So Boyers has seen 9 pitches so far, and 8 of them have been balls. Taylor here with a quick single in the first, and now has seen 2 strikes in this at-bat. So different things for the 2 different TCU hitters. 0-2 pitch is fouled into the right-handed hitter's batter box, and the count remains 0-2. All but 3 guys have reached so far in this ballgame for Falmouth. Borfin, Curiali, and Colden, the only guys who have yet to reach first. 0-2 here from Hansen is a breaking ball that the home plate umpire thought about calling a strike, but he's going to end up calling it a ball. Nick Biddison, the catcher, looking back towards the home plate umpire, Tom Ryberg, asking where that ball missed.
I think it missed just a bit up in the zone.
So count now 1-2 here on Braden Taylor. Falmouth leading 1-0 here in Brewster in the top of the third. Luke Boyers leads off of first. And the 1-2 delivery from Hansen. Another breaking ball. This one well off the plate to even up the count at 2-2. So Taylor started this at-bat with facing a couple of strikes. And he's now able to work it back even here with a 2-2 count. No outs in the inning. And Jace Borfin stands on deck for this Falmouth side, trying to increase its lead here in Brewster. The 2-2 hit on a line into right center field, and that's going to fall and split the gap. Rounding second and heading to third is Luke Boyers. Braden Taylor in standing up to second. And check that, coming home now is Luke Boyers. He slides feet first, and he's safe. Make it 2-0 Falmouth as he goes all the way from first to home on that RBI double from Braden Taylor. And it's 2-0 Falmouth here in the top of the third.
Taylor perfectly placing that in the right center field gap. Hit it hard, too, so it got almost all the way to the wall. Boyers had a really solid read on it from first base. Knew it was going to fall in, so he left right off the bat after he saw it. And he's able to score all the way from first. Good base running from the TCU product, and his teammate drives him in.
So Braden now 2 for 2 with a single and a double. And Jace Borfin digs in now. Still no outs in this inning. Falmouth bats coming back to life here tonight in Brewster. Hansen is set on the mound, and the first pitch home to Borfin is a foul ball off the head of Nick Biddison, the catcher, and it goes out of play, 0-1. Falmouth had 3 hits in all of yesterday's ball game, already with 4 base hits tonight. Borfin popped out to the third baseman, Jake Thompson, back in the first. And the 0-1 delivery, a big swing and a miss on a sweeping swing from Borfin to make it 0-2. Borfin leads the team with 13 RBIs on the season. Now Hansen comes home with the 0-2 pitch, another breaking ball, and that one is in for strike 3 as it catches Borfin looking. And so first out of the inning there, that's also the first strikeout tonight for Pete Hansen. And there's 1 gone here in the inning.
That's a good backdoor breaking ball, and Borfin just didn't pull the trigger on swinging it. He realized too late it was going to fall in for a strike. And you could see, we saw at least by his facial expressions walking back to the dugout, he knew it was a strike, but just a little too late on the read of the pitch.
Here's Michael Curiali, tonight's cleanup hitter for Falmouth. And the first pitch is low and in the dirt. He gave a check swing. And they're going to peel down to first and say he did not go around. So the count sits at 1-0 here on Michael Curiali. Falmouth leading 2-0 here in the top of the third. David Adar and Matt Levine with you. Thanks for spending some of your Tuesday evening with us on an early start here in Brewster. 1-0 delivery from Hansen is fouled into the backstop, and the count evens up at 1-1. Braden Taylor leads off of second after his RBI doubled, which scored his TCU teammate in Luke Boyers. Boyers able to score all the way from first on that base knock. Hansen set here, and the 1-1 delivery from the left-hander. A breaking ball that falls inside, now 2-1. Matt, he likes to go to that breaking ball a lot against these Falmouth hitters.
Well, it's been working well against the left-handers. The right-handers, though, it's missing inside mostly. It's trying to paint that corner where it comes across the plate.
And now the 2-1 delivery is outside, 3-1 here on Michael Curiali.
And that's the corner of the plate that's inside on a righty and out on the outside corner to a lefty, but it's just been better, I guess, locating it towards a lefty when you can aim it kind of at them and then it just drops in and breaks into the zone.
Curiali trying to reach base for the first time tonight after grounding into a double play back in the first. He's ahead 3-1, and the pitch from Hansen was low and in the dirt, but Curiali gave a wave at it, and the count now full here on the UCLA Bruin. Curiali went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday, trying to snap out of a skid where he's gone cold at the plate. Just 1 for his last 15 at the dish. And he faces a full count pitch that he fouls into the backstop. So we'll do it all again. Falmouth leading 2-0, trying to pick up its second win of the season against an Eastern Division team. They beat Chatham a week ago out in Chatham. First meeting of the year against Brewster. 3-2 delivery here from Hansen. Another breaking ball, but Curiali able to just get a piece of it, and it remains full count. Curiali given a good at-bat here at the plate after grounding into a double play back in the first. A 4-4-3 double play as that was scored. Hansen set now, holds the ball waist high, and the pitch home is hit down the right field line, tracking, and it's gone. Out of our viewpoint again here, but Michael Curiali goes yard here to extend Falmouth's lead to 4-0 here over the Whitecaps. Curiali with his second home run of the season. It was tailing along the right field line and just able to stay in the field of play. 4-0 Falmouth here over Brewster.
That was a towering fly ball off the bat, an outside fastball elevated in the zone, took it the other way to right field. Curiali works on that in batting practice all the time, hitting it the other way to right field, and he did it in a towering fashion this time, and the American flag in right center is pushing that way. Right field side. If you go that way, it's going to carry. Center field is probably going to carry a little bit, and the wind just took that, and it kept going. I don't even know where that ball landed. We can't even see, but I knew off the bat that had a chance to be gone. That's all I was able to tell, and you could see the umpire signaling home run. So Curiali with just a towering fly ball. It didn't look like it was hit like a normal home run in terms of the angle that it was hit at, but it was hit so high, and then it just kept going.
Spencer Jones, the right fielder, also stopped at the wall and just kept following that ball. So another indicator there. Again, we're situated here in between the pitcher's mound and home plate on the right side, just to the left of the Commodores dugout. So it's tough to see down along the foul line on the right side of play. And time called now as the pitching coach for Brewster, Scott Landers, comes out to talk with his pitcher and catcher. Hansen has been really roughed up here in his first start of the season for Brewster. Already 4 runs allowed on 5 base hits for Falmouth. 3 runs here in the third, 1 run back in the second. And that's how Falmouth has scored its 4 runs thus far. Here comes Chris Armstrong now, who picked up his first base hit as a Commodore to start the second, and then he ended up coming around to score the first base hit of the ball game. He takes strike 1 from Hansen, and the count now 0-1 here on the Florida Gator. Armstrong now 1 for 10 on the year, as the 0-1 delivery from Hansen is hit high in the air into right center field. This ball continuing to carry back, turning, looking, it's gone! Falmouth goes back-to-back here in Brewster as Chris Armstrong now has 2 base hits this ball game, a single and a home run. He's got his first RBI of the season and make it 5-0 Falmouth as the Commodores all smiles here in Brewster.
Well, once that first hit falls, it's just an entirely different mental ball game for any hitter. He went 0 for 9 to start his career here with the Commodores, and then he gets the 1 single in the second. He comes around to score, and then all of a sudden just takes a fly ball into right center. Again, going the other way with it as a right-handed hitter. This has been showing so far. The ball is going to carry as far as it wants to go. And again, Armstrong just delivers one to the right side that just kept going and going.
Ball 1 to, or the first pitch to Taylor Smith, a ball that's high and outside. And Brewster now with a man warming up down in their bullpen, as it's Connor Stain who's down there warming up, the sophomore out of the University of Maryland, as ball 2 comes in here on Taylor Smith. Smith singled back in the second for his 3rd base hit of the season. Falmouth already with 6 base hits here in this ball game. 2-0, hit in the air into left center field. Going over to his right is Colin Davis, and he calls off the left fielder Porter Brown. And just a couple steps in front of the fence, able to make the grab for the second out. But that ball was mere feet from being another home run for this Commodores team here in the 3rd. So 2 gone now for Bryson Ware, who reached on a fielder's choice back in the second. First pitch here from Hansen, home to him, and it's high and outside for ball 1. Well, Falmouth already with 4 runs in this ball game, or excuse me, 5 runs in this ball game, as the 1-0 to Ware is low and inside to make the count 2-0. Last time Falmouth scored this many runs was a week ago at Chatham, an 8-1 victory for the Commodores. So the offense coming back to life tonight as the 2-0 pitch, low and outside, and the count 3-0 here on Ware. Hanson in danger of walking his third batter of the night here in Bryson Ware. And the 3-0 pitch now from the Texas Longhorn is in for strike one. That ball just below the belt, as it's called by the home plate umpire, Tom Ryberg. Well, this Brewster team coming in and only giving up 47 runs on the season, which is the second fewest in the CCBL, but Falmouth with 5 here tonight. 3-1 pitch is grounded on one hop over to the third baseman, Jake Thompson. He fields and makes the throw across the diamond in time for out number 3, but not before Falmouth plates 4 runs here in the third. They go back-to-back on home runs for Michael Curiali and Chris Armstrong, and now a 5-0 lead here over the Brewster Whitecaps as we move to the bottom of the third here from Stony Brook Field.
On Route 6A near the junction of 124 in the heart of Brewster. That is local really neat. Technology disposal means small town service and total customer satisfaction. It means carrying out the future of Cape Cod, our home. It means that by supporting each other, we will all thrive together. Nauset Disposal, a local Cape Cod company. Cleaning and greening the Cape, one step at a time. From capturing a diving catch at a Whitecaps game to that money shot of your coveted Cape home. From weddings to movie events and other year-round moments to an unforgettable family portrait on the beach. William F. Pomeroy of Pomeroy Photography and Graphics is ready and eager to apply extraordinary talents to produce magical images for you and your family. Your business or organization. Pomeroy Photography and Graphics, official photographer of the Brewster Whitecaps.
All smiles here for Falmouth as we move into the bottom of the third. Brewster coming back-to-back and trying to pick up their first base runner of the ball game. So far, 6 up, 6 down, as Jack Jasiak has faced the minimum through his first 2 innings of work. Everything going in the Commodores' favor early in this ball game. Matt, something we haven't been able to say in a while.
Quite a while, but as I say day by day throughout the season, it's baseball. You can come back, play a new team every single night. You just got to erase what's going on, keep it out of your memory, and fight in the game that you're playing in currently. You don't think about anything else, and this is paying off right now offensively for them.
Porter Brown leads off the inning. The TCU Longhorn playing out in left field tonight. He takes ball 1 on the outside part of the plate. And now the second pitch from Jasiak. Again, just outside. Counts it's at 2-0 here on Brown. Well, so far for Brewster, a strikeout, 3 pop-ups, a line-out, and a ground-out is how they've been set down tonight. 2-0 pitch here from Jasiak in the exact same location as the first 2, just outside. And now 3-0 here as Jasiak in danger of allowing his first base runner of the ball game.
When you can score 5 runs before the opponent brings up all 9 hitters to the plate, that's a really good feeling.
Here's the 3-0 pitch, and it's high and away, and a 4-pitch walk that Porter Brown is able to start this ball game off with. So he reaches base, first time tonight that we can say so for Brewster, and that'll bring up the 8-hitter Nick Biddison.
Now batting, the catcher from Virginia Tech, number 20.
Biddison out of Virginia Tech, hitting 115 on the season for the Whitecaps. And a righty-on-righty matchup here as the Virginia Tech product digs in here against Jasiak. First pitch home to him. Big swing and a miss as the fastball blown by his bat for strike 1. Falmouth on top 5-0 here over the Brewster Whitecaps. Everything going right so far here for this Commodores team. 0-1 delivery now from Jasiak. He's able to catch the inside corner. Biddison didn't like the call, but count now 0-2 here on the Hokie. Jasiak looks over towards first over his front shoulder, and now the 0-2 pitch, a breaking ball that Biddison able to make some contact with as the count remains 0-2. Good crowd here on hand for this first meeting of the season between Falmouth and Brewster. Some fans sitting beyond the center field wall, a little bit of a hill out there. And then along here, both the first and third base sides as the 0-2 pitch popped up on the right side, and it'll find its way out of play. And so the count remains 0-2 here on Biddison. He's seen 4 pitches so far. All have been strikes, and he's fouled a couple off. So again, the count's still 0-2. Biddison will dig back in now as Jasiak looks back on at him. And he's going to throw over to first. Back in standing up, Porter Brown safely at first. Brown with just 1 stolen base this season, but this is a Brewster team that likes to run. 25 stolen bases on the year, which leads the league by significant margin. As the 0-2 delivery now to Biddison is upstairs. Taylor Smith has to stand up to catch that ball, and the count now 1-2. A lot of stolen bases this season for Brewster, Matt, but we've seen the Falmouth catchers have really good arms this year, whether it be Taylor Smith, Jonathan French, or when he was still with the team, Jake Meyer. 1-2 pitch here is running is is Porter Brown. This ball popped up at the edge of the outfield grass. Diving and making the catch is Chris Armstrong. So Brown has to head back towards first as the hit and run was on there for Brewster. And there's one gone now. Brown still at first.
Good adjustment there by Armstrong. Was holding the runner on, came off the field his position, ball's hit up in the air towards him, and he's got to track it with that wind swirling up there. So it goes all the way into shallow right. He just put his head down, ran to the spot where he thought it would be like an outfielder does. And then he looked up, relocated the ball, and was able to just kind of, as he was falling down, hold on to it and make the good play.
Here's Trey Faltini now in his first game of the season for Brewster. Takes strike 1. He was just activated today for the Whitecaps out of Texas. So joining the team late after the Longhorns able to make the College World Series. A couple of new guys here on both sides from both Texas and for Brewster, Vanderbilt as well. 0-1 delivery here from Jasiak is down the third base side, foul. It was fielded by Taylor. It was towing the line, but I think it was just in the edge of foul territory. So the count now 0-2 here on Faltini.
Faltini has a new bat now after he breaks it on his first swing in the Cape League. Welcome to metal bats, but that ball spun in foul territory, came all the way back in fair. Must have caught a rock or a piece of dirt because then it went foul again.
So Taylor making the smart move there and still fielding it despite it being right on the edge of the line. Count 0-2 now here with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Porter Brown leads off of first, and he's running, swing and a miss on the pitch. And then in safely with a feet-first slide is Porter Brown. So Faltini goes down swinging for the second out of the inning, but Porter Brown moves into scoring position now with 2 outs in the inning.
Top of the lineup to the plate. Now batting for the Whitecaps, the center fielder from the Rockford.
We move back to the top of the lineup for Colin Davis, who struck out looking back in the first. So the 1-hitter and the 9-hitter for Brewster have both struck out tonight. Those are the only 2 Ks for Jasiak here in his second start of the season for Falmouth. And again, Porter Brown leads off of second here with the Commodores on top 5-0 in the bottom of the third. Jasiak with a look back towards second, and now the first pitch to Davis is a foul ball into the backstop for strike 1. Falmouth trying to end its 4-game losing skid in the midst of a 3-game road stretch. Last night a loss at YD, here tonight, and then tomorrow against Bourne, who just dropped its first game of the season last night, a shutout loss to Katuitt. 0-1 pitch now from Jasiak is high and away for ball 1. We kept wondering when was it going to be that Bourne was finally going to drop that first game of the season, and it finally happened last night. A shutout loss for them. Katuitt handing them that first loss of the year. So Bourne now 9-1-2 on the season. Jasiak is set as he holds the ball belt high, and the 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball inside, now 2-1. I think we can say, and really everyone around the league can say, it was nice to see Bourne finally drop a contest.
I thought they were going to win every game this season.
Well, they could have gone 36-0-2, but that won't be happening anymore. Still in first place in the West, though, with those 20 points on the year. As Jasiak with a look back towards second. Now the 2-1 delivery. Hit on the line down the third base side, and this ball would have been gone if it was fair. It was absolutely crushed off the bat of Colin Davis, but it stays foul just by a bit, and so the count now 2-2 here, still on Davis.
Just a little bit out in front Davis was there, and he knew right away. He didn't even exit the batter's box. He swung. That ball was over the trees, beyond the wall. No doubter if it was fair, but he knew right after his swing that was going to tail foul.
So count 2-2 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Davis digs back in with Porter Brown leading off of second. Here's the pitch from Jasiak, and it's hit on the ground on the left side past the diving Taylor, and then it's stopped by Colden before it can reach the outfield grass. Really solid play by Colden because he prevented Porter Brown from coming around third and coming home to score. But there's the first base hit of the ballgame for Brewster as Colin Davis, the leadoff man, picks it up.
Really good job by Colden there to get a glove on it. Whether he fielded it or not doesn't matter. The runner was going to be safe at first anyway, Davis would have been. So he saves it from going into the outfield, which keeps Porter Brown from scoring from second. Now he stands on third, and it's up to Thompson to drive him in now with 2 outs.
Jake Thompson hitting .270 on the season. The left-handed hitter digs in here with runners on the corners. Jasiak looks towards first over his shoulder, now comes home with the pitch, and it's over the plate for strike 1. Thompson popped out to Boyers back in the first. In his lone at-bat thus far this evening. Second time through the lineup here for Brewster tonight. Here's the 0-1 from Jasiak, and it's popped up on the left side. Tracking into the outfield, over to his right is Alex Sayre. And despite the wind, he's able to get under it for the third and final out of this inning. So despite a leadoff walk from Porter Brown and then a 2-out single from Colin Davis, no damage done on the base paths as it's still 5-0 Falmouth here from Brewster. And we'll move to the fourth now with Matt taking over on play-by-play when we come back.
Picture an historic mansion overlooking Cape Cod Bay, elevated villas alongside the Cape's only Nicholas-designed golf course, 9 tennis courts, pools, warm water beaches, world-class restaurants, a 26-mile bike trail, cocaine on the lawn, bonfires on the beach, resort to freedom, Ocean Edge Resort and Golf Club, Route 60 in Brewster. Online at oceanedge.com. Lobsters and have them cooked for free. And everything you need for an old-fashioned Cape Cod clam bake. Orleans Seafood Market at 18 Old Colony Way in Orleans. Open 7 days a week. Maybe you own a home or cottage and would like to rent some summer weeks, but you wonder how guests would treat your property. Maybe you spend vacations here, but you find many summer rentals do not measure up to your standards. Either way, check out Brewster's only select vacation rentals specialist. Pretty Boogie Properties, Cape Cod's select vacation rentals. Pitcher on the hill for the Brewster Whitecaps, wearing number 32 from Maryland, Connor Steen.
We go into the fourth inning here from Stony Brook Park. Matt Levine with David Hadar and Falmouth with an early lead. It's 5-0 and a 4-run third inning. They now knock Pete Hansen out of the ball game, and Connor Stain from the University of Maryland will come on the mound now for Brewster. Hansen went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs. They were all earned, 2 walks and 1 strikeout in the 16 batters that he faced. And Stain's first pitch to Alex Sayer is a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Sayer hit into an error his first time up, but had an RBI as Armstrong came in to score. Connor Stain, the sophomore right-hander on the mound. 0-1 pitch is popped up foul behind home plate, and now it's 0-2.
Hansen really roughed up in his first appearance of the season for Brewster. Those 3 innings, gave up 5 runs, and just really never looked like he had solid command out on the mound. Falmouth hitting all around him, able to pick up a couple of walks too, and like you mentioned, those 5 runs.
0-2 fastball misses high and away to Sayer, and now it's 1-2. So Sayer still looking for that hit, which he hasn't gotten in a long time, but he did reach base on an error his first time up. Stain in the windup, 1-2 pitch. Changeup is fouled away into the netting behind home plate, and we'll stay at 1-2. Stain currently in the transfer portal after 2 seasons at Maryland. Acted as both a reliever and a starter for the Terrapins. In the windup again, the 1-2. Curveball misses low to make it 2-2 to Sayer.
In the transfer portal, but he still looks like a Terp out there wearing a black and red gloves, got red cleats on, sporting the Maryland colors.
Maryland, the only Power 5 school with 4 main colors. And the 2-2, swing and a miss. Connor Stain with a good fastball to blow it by Sayer. And there's 1 out here in the 4th.
I never knew that. Red, black, white, and yellow?
Gold.
Oh, gold. Okay.
Can't be yellow.
Well, I will say Maryland, the state, has, I think, the coolest state flag. So taking advantage of all those colors.
Cody Colden stands in now, and the flag is draped all over the place on every logo pretty much, or every piece of clothing that athletes wear. And Stain deals a fastball on the outside corner for a strike to Colden. It's 0-1. Grounded into a double play his first time up. That ended the 2nd inning, Colden did. Stain originally from Clinton, New Jersey, and West Morris Central High School, where he was really good on the mound. 0-1 breaking ball gets Colden to fan on and miss. And now it's 0-2. 9 appearances on the mound for the Terps this year, 6 games started. He didn't get to appear in as many games as he would have liked. 0-2 breaking ball misses away. So now it's 1-2, and that's because he landed on the COVID protocol list for being near someone who tested positive. He didn't test positive himself, but had to land on that list and be out for 2 weeks. Part of the Big Ten leadership protocols that were put in place that kept him out for a long time. 1-2 fastball hit hard on the line down the right field line. That'll go foul, but that's a good piece of hitting for Colden.
It sure is, and we've seen Falmouth really hit all around this field today. After yesterday at YD, only left the infield, aside from the 3 home runs, only left the infield 3 total times. Today, it's been a very different story. They've hit all around this field, and they've had a lot of balls that have been rocketed off their bats.
1-2 the count, and here's the pitch to Colden. That curveball is disgusting. And he drops it on the doorstep to get Colden swinging and missing for the 2nd straight time in the inning. Sayer and Colden now going down on the curveball swinging.
Yeah, Stain has a really good breaking ball there, and Falmouth already with the 2 strikeouts this inning, something that didn't happen at all with Hansen. He only had 1 K in his outing tonight. So Falmouth able to put the balls in play from Hansen, but not yet from Stain.
Here's Boyers hitting from the left side for the first time tonight, and he fouls it away down the left field line. Boyers is 0 for 0 actually with 2 walks and a run scored. So Stain went 0 for 3 this year in College Park on the mound. 0-3 rather. 6.49 ERA. 41 Ks though in 34 2/3 innings. And the 0-1 pitch. Good changeup. Gets a called strike on the inside corner. It's 0-2. Pitched in the Greenville Regional Final. He started in that game, but really struggled for the Terrapins. That was the regional final against ECU that the Terps' season came to an end. 0-2 pitch. Fastball hit on the ground to the right side. Nice stop by Stain, now it falls out of his glove, and he gets rid of it, but not in time. A tough play for the pitcher to make, but nearly a really beautiful play.
It almost was, and he had to leap up there to get that ball here in the infield, and he had it in his glove, but he went up so high he ended up coming down to the ground, and that's when it then found its way out of the glove. And so Boyers now has reached, in all three of his at-bats today, where they are going to rule that an error, an E1 on the pitcher Connor Stain. So that's the second error of the ballgame for Brewster, and Boyers still 0 for 0.
Here's Braden Taylor, 2 for 2 tonight, a single and an RBI double and a run scored. And out of the stretch, Connor Stain kicks and deals the breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. Stain in that Greenville Regional Final against ECU went an inning and 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, and only struck out 1. Gave up 3 doubles and a home run to ECU. Had Maryland down early, but started in the biggest game of the year. And now takes a pickoff attempt over to first, but Boyers is back in, diving head first. Maryland's number 2 starter this year, or Saturday starter really, Nick Dean, broke his wrist a couple days prior to the NCAA tournament, which allowed Stain to get a start in the regional final. 0-1 is a breaking ball, called a strike to Taylor, and now Taylor's well behind 0-2.
Well, I will say Stain's done a good job today getting batters behind in counts, already 2 strikeouts in his first inning of work here, and he had Boyers behind 2. And doing so here with Taylor.
Boyers leads off a first. Set on the mound is Connor Stain. And the 0-2 pitch. Taylor hits high in the air into right field. That's carrying well. Going back is Jones. He's at the wall, leaping, and that ball is long gone. Braden Taylor with his 3rd hit of the night. A 2-run blast makes it 7-0 Commodores. And the 3rd home run of the evening for Falmouth. And this is just a hit fest, which we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, how about this? Taylor is now a triple away from the cycle. He has a single, a double, and a home run tonight. But Falmouth now with 3 home runs in the ball game, something that they did yesterday on just 3 hits. And what I really like about Falmouth tonight is they're taking advantage of guys who have reached in different ways. Taylor hit a double back in the 3rd, and that scored Boyers from first and Boyers reached on a walk. Boyers reaching on an E1 there and able to then come around to score on the Braden Taylor home run. So Falmouth just finding ways to get on base and then taking advantage of the long ball.
Borfin takes the first pitch for a ball. It's 1-0. Borfin's 0 for 2 tonight, a pop-up to third base and a strikeout looking in the 3rd. Stain's going to have to go out of the windup now with nobody on after the 2-run shot for Taylor. Again, another just a fly ball that kept going out to right field. He was behind in the count 0-2. Here's the 1-0 to Borfin. Curveball misses low. Staying on the mound, looking to bounce back after the home run. 2-0 is lined foul to the left side. 2-1 now the count with 2 down and nobody on. Third baseman Thompson plays off the bag at third with the lefty Borfin up. 7-0 Commodores here in the top of the 4th. And Stain deals the 2-1 away from Borfin and high, so now it's 3-1. 2 strikeouts to start the day on Sayer and Colden for Connor Stain here in the 4th. Then he committed an error which was very close to being a single. And the 3-1 pitch. Borfin crushes that to right field. Going back Jones, he's at the wall, and that ball is all the way in the trees in right. Borfin with his 4th home run of the year. That's the farthest of the night, the farthest of the season. And it's 8-0 Commodores here in the 4th.
I don't know what the heck has gotten into the bats here of this Falmouth team, but all of a sudden, the offense has come back to life. This Falmouth team is just 1 run away from matching its season high of 9, which they did against Harwich a week and a half ago. As soon as Borfin hit that ball, he just dropped the bat. He knew it was gone. It was a no-doubter off the bat, and the Falmouth fans here loving this 8-0 start for the Commodores.
Borfin hit a 2-run shot yesterday, a solo shot tonight. And for the 2nd time tonight, Commodores go back-to-back. They have 4 home runs on the evening. Here's Michael Curiali. He's ahead in the count 1-0. He is a 2-run shot tonight himself. And he skies the 1-0 pitch foul to the right side, and now it's 1-1.
Whatever this Commodores team had for dinner last night or for breakfast this morning, keep feeding that to them because this is one of the best games that Falmouth has had offensively all year long.
Utilizing that right field side, which the wind continues to push the ball out to. And the 1-1 is tipped into the glove of Biddison behind home plate to make it 1-2.
And that's one of the great things. This Falmouth team, so many left-handed hitters that they can send to the plate. And so taking advantage, like you said, Matt, of where the wind is blowing out towards, able to do here with all those left-handed hitters.
1-2 breaking ball hit on the ground, up the middle, and through for a base hit. Michael Curiali with his second hit of the night. And he's on board with a 2-out single.
And look at how all of this started. It was on an E1 that Connor Stain recorded where he made an impressive play to stop the ball but then lost it as he came down in Luke Boyer's reach. And ever since then, a home run to Taylor, a home run to Borfin, and a single to Curiali.
And the pickoff attempt over to first. Curiali caught sleeping. He dives back in, but he's out. Before even coming set, Connor Stain goes with the pickoff attempt. And he is fired up after committing an error, then giving up 3 runs after that on 2 home runs, then goes and gets the pickoff attempt. Commodores, though, with another 3 spot. They had a 4 spot in the second, a 3 spot in the fourth, and they lead 8-0 as we go into the bottom of the fourth.
Genuine, custom-made Amish furniture. Outdoor furniture is right here on Cape Cod. Unify your outdoor living with custom-made Amish poly-lumber furniture that will not rust, warp, or crack. Only at Woodworks Gallery in Lemon Tree Village, right here in Brewster. Baseball League would like to welcome our new sponsor, Mosquito Mary's, a locally owned, family-operated business that provides all-natural mosquito and tick control services. Call 866-ASK-MARY or go to mosquitomarys.com. Mention the Cape Cod Baseball League and get your first treatment for just $29.
We go into the bottom of the fourth in the most lopsided game of the season for Falmouth. It's 8-0 and only 1 hit on the board and 2 base runners on the night for Brewster through 3 innings so far. Jack Jasiak on the mound still. He's pitched really well so far. Has to face the heart of the order with Zach Neto leading things off. First pitch slider is called for a strike at the knees to Neto, and it's 0-1. Neto popped up to first base his first time up. That ended the first inning. And a walk and a single in the third are the only base runners that have reached so far tonight for Brewster. Jasiak set, and the 0-1 pitch. Fastball comes in hard, and the called strike on the inside corner makes it 0-2. Tom Ryberg with a pretty big zone in terms of the corners of the plate, which is helping Jasiak, who is just peering in on the mound for the signs. He's set, and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, the fastball blown right by Neto, and the third strikeout of the night for Jasiak for the first out in the bottom of the fourth.
Jasiak just so locked in on the mound tonight. Like you mentioned, his third K of the evening does so there on 3 pitches to Neto, who's set down for the second time tonight. And the Brewster team just still have yet to really figure out an answer to Jasiak.
Here's Spencer Jones, arguably the most physically gifted athlete here on the field tonight in terms of his size, as Jasiak deals a first pitch ball low. I say that because he's 6'7", 225 pounds, and plays right field, almost like Aaron Judge, just a little bit lighter. And he rips the 1-0 foul to the left side. Oh boy, fan tried to make a play on that with the bare hand. Something went flying, whether that was a phone or sunglasses, I can't tell. But he didn't make the catch. Everybody's okay. It ricocheted off of his hands. I think it was his phone that went flying.
Looks like it. And he's looking at it. I'm guessing it cracked or something. He doesn't look too happy.
So count 1-1 to Jones. Here's the pitch. And the fastball misses off the outside corner for a ball. It's 2-1.
You mentioned the size here of Spencer Jones, 6'7", plays right field. We have to mention our beat writer, Tommy Muma, a big Yankees fan. He's been going on and on today about the fact that Aaron Judge played here years ago. So all around Aaron Judge comparisons we've been hearing all day. We get another one there for Jones.
Well, Taylor Smith hit by a foul ball from Jones, and he's a little shaken up. I think that hit him in the one spot you don't want to get hit. He's taking a break now as Tom Ryberg walks out to the mound. Him and Jones exchanging a little bit of laughs together.
No need to elaborate on the zone.
Not safe for the air. Smith, a really tough guy, though, from Texas A&M behind the plate, and that's what you get into as a catcher. So he's all right, and they'll get back in the crouch now with a 2-2 count as Jasiak on the mound. Spencer Jones. Jones 0 for 1 of the fly out to left his first time. And the 2-2 missed inside this time to make it a full count.
To go back to what I was saying with Tommy, when we got here today, we're walking in, and he said to me, he goes, "Can you believe Aaron Judge made this walk?" He was going crazy. He was like mesmerized by the fact that one of the greatest Yankees in recent memory had an opportunity to play here.
3-2 slider on the outside corner gets Jones looking. Back-to-back Ks for Jasiak, and now there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, Jasiak continues to be locked in and a couple of strikeouts, Matt.
Going back to the Aaron Judge thing, is he really one of the greatest Yankees in recent memory?
Well, it was just more something to try and put a superlative on him, but
okay.
I get what you're getting at.
Here's Sean Gusenberg out of Northwestern, and he takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. It seems like every single time there's a strike called on a corner tonight, the hitters are just a little bit upset with Tom Ryberg calling balls and strikes, so that wide zone playing into effect. 0-1 slider misses away, and now it's 1-1.
I think Tommy would tell you he's the greatest Yankee of recent memory. He's nodding his head yes.
Tommy would say that about any Yankee fan that ever or any Yankee rather that ever existed. Jasiak set at the belt on the mound, and out of the stretch, the 1-1 is popped up sky high. That is towering to the right side. It's coming back in play, and in foul territory, Armstrong's able to make the catch. That ball looked like it was headed right over the dugout, and instead that wind kept it in not fair territory, but the field of play, and Armstrong is able to make the catch for another 1-2-3 inning. That's the third 1-2-3 inning of the night, and we're through 4 innings now. Jasiak only has allowed 1 hit and no runs. It's 8-0 Commodores as they come to bat again in the 5th.
With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod, Badger Sport, 47 brand, Cape Cod 5 Cent Saving Bank, Milton Cat, Mosquito Marys, Fairway Financial, Ocean Spray, Seaside Lamont, Rogers Gray. We will be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Take a chance at not just our 50/50s, but also our new raffle for a beautiful Whitecaps themed handmade quilt. Tickets are $2 each or $10 for a book of 6. That's available at the table along the first base side. The winning ticket for that season-long raffle is going to be drawn at our last home game, which is on August 4th.
Through 4 innings already here in Brewster, it's 8-0 Falmouth. 8 runs on 9 hits, no runs on 1 hit for the Whitecaps, and they've made 2 errors in the field as well. And we head to the top of the 5th. With 5, 6, and 7 due up for Falmouth, Armstrong stands in now. 2 for 2 on the night, 2 runs scored, and a solo home run in the third inning. And the first pitch from Stain, he's back on the mound. Out of the windup is a ball away from Armstrong. It's 1-0.
Falmouth only one inning tonight where they've gone scoreless. That was the first, but otherwise it's been offense aplenty here tonight.
Well, that was called a strike, although it was extremely out of the zone. And now it's already 0-2. So it was 0-1 after that, which it was nowhere close, and it was a delayed call. But now it's 0-2 after the breaking ball crosses the plate. So the 0-2 pitch from Stain. And the breaking ball misses low and bounces in the dirt. Armstrong lays off, and it's 1-2.
Mentioned earlier, no lights here in Brewster. We still have almost 2 hours before the sun sets, but it's behind a cloud right now, and the area over the field of play is a bit darker than you probably want at this time of the evening.
1-2 popped up to the left side. Sprinting in is Brown from left field. His hat flies off, and he makes the catch. The left-handed outfielder does in shallow left. Well, the wind just continues to play a factor. That ball was pushing towards the center field side after it was initially hit to left field. So he had to adjust, not only sprint that way in the gap, but also sprint in while his hat flies off. And now there's one out in the fifth.
That's an important first out for this Brewster team. Falmouth had the leadoff man reach 3 times tonight, and in 2 of those innings were able to score. So it's big for this Brewster team to get that first out, as now Taylor Smith digs in.
First pitch to Smith, catches the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Smith 1 for 2 on the night, a single in the second, and then flied out to center field in the third. 1 out here in the top of the fifth. 8-0 the score. Falmouth with a big early lead. A 1 breaking ball. That was extremely loopy, but Smith didn't pull the trigger, and it's 0-2. That came up at the top of the zone and then broke all the way to the knees of Smith, covering all parts of that strike zone. Connor Stain did with the curveball. And quickly, here's the 0-2. Another curveball gets the swing and a miss, that time on the outside corner, and Smith dropped it in. That time a little bit less break and a little more run to it. Instead of 12-6, it went away from the hitter Smith, and now there's 2 outs, and the third strikeout of the night for Stain.
And Stain was able to get 2 quick outs back in the fourth before the Commodores' offense exploded for 3 more runs. So got to get this second out here, try and keep Falmouth off the board if you're Brewster.
Bryson Ware, first pitch up and in, nicks him in the forearm of the left hand, or left arm rather. And he runs down to first, and just like that, two strikeouts to start off the fourth, then an error, and after that it unraveled really. Instead, two outs now in the fifth, and then a hit by pitch. So Connor Stain doing a good job of the first 2 hitters in the last 2 innings, and then after that, allowing base runners.
Well, this guy coming to the plate, Alex Sayre, would love to pick up that first base knock of the ball game, keep this inning going.
Sayre is 0 for 2 tonight, does have an RBI when he reached on an error, and the first pitch curveball is a strike. Two outs here in the inning, but Ware leads off of first. Stain out of the stretch. The pitch is ripped right back up the middle, past the diving Neto on a line and into center field. Bryson Ware is going to try to go first to third, and the throw from the center fielder Davis comes into second over his head, over Faltini's head, but Simpson's there to back it up, so it keeps Sayre on first. Sayre with his first hit of the night, and now Bryson Ware stands on third when he went first to third.
Good base running there by Bryson Ware. Had a good read on the ball and knew that his speed would get him into third easily. And then Alex Sayre with a single there gets his first base hit of the ball game, and now his first in his last 18 at bats, I should say. And so he's got to be feeling good about that as he keeps this inning going. And here's Cody Colden.
Colden 0 for 2 tonight, and the first pitch is a fastball at the knees. And what's the call on that? I think it missed low.
I think you're right, but the scorekeeper doesn't know either because nothing has been shown on the scoreboard. Now they put a ball.
So it missed low. That looked like it was at the knees, but the call comes in low. And now the 1-0 pitch. Same spot, but it's called a strike this time, so it's 1-1 now.
The hitters tonight haven't been too thrilled with the strike zone. We've seen guys on both teams a bit frustrated with the calls that have been made, but for the pitchers, it's something that they certainly enjoy.
The outfield entirely shifted to the right side. With the right-handed hitter Cody Colden up, they're shifting the other way in the outfield. Infield's at normal depth, though, with the middle infield just pinched up the middle a little bit with the force at second and 2 outs. Colden grounded into a double play in the second and struck out swinging in the fourth against Connor Stain. And the 1-1 breaking ball from Stain is flied into right field. That'll go foul to make it 1-2.
Here another example of Stain getting ahead in the at-bat. Has a 1-2 count here on Colden, but this has then been where Falmouth on the other side has been able to find some of those best pitches to turn into base hits.
Stain set on the mound with runners at the corners and 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, waved at and missed, and tipped into the glove, actually, of the catcher, Biddison. Barely getting a piece of that was Colden. He chased out of the zone. Connor Stain buckles down after getting 2 quick outs, allowing 2 base runners. He strikes out Colden to end the 5th. And a scoreless frame, the first time for the Commodores offensively since the first inning. It's 8-0 Falmouth as we head into the bottom of the 5th.
Sports picks. On Deck Sports. Barnstable Bath. Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce. HP Hood. Sunderland Printing. Access Bats. Best Diagnostics. Keep Space. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Bottom of the 5th already here at Brewster, and it's 8-0 Falmouth. And Jasiak still on the mound, working his best start of the season, his second start. But through 4 innings so far, 0 runs and just 1 hit, and 2 base runners total with that 1 walk as well, and he struck out 4 so far. First pitch of the inning is ripped down the left field line, but foul by Simpson. Will Simpson, the 6th hitter in the order, the first baseman leading things off. He's 0 for 1 with a line out into center. That was the play that Luke Boyers made out in center to end the second inning. And Jasiak goes only out of the stretch, and the 0-1 fastball missed low to make it 1-1. Simpson, Brown, and Biddison due up here, 6, 7, and 8 for the Whitecaps. As Jasiak looks to continue his groove on the mound. The 1-1 pitch is in the dirt low for a ball. It's 2-1. Simpson, the redshirt freshman, 6'4" at first base. A Washington Husky, native of the state of Washington as well. And the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball is elevated, and just fouling it off is Simpson. He missed that off the barrel. A hanger, almost a mistake from Jasiak, but he gets it to go his way with a foul ball. It's 2-2. Simpson's brother Jack pitches at Bucknell. And the 2-2 ripped down the left field line in the bullpen, foul to make it, or stay, 2-2. 2-2 the count now with Jasiak on the mound, still grooving, and Simpson 0 for 1 at the plate. So Simpson's brother Jack pitches at Bucknell, and said his greatest baseball memory was getting to have an at-bat against him last summer in the WCL. Now the at-bat against Jasiak. And the 2-2 is popped up right behind home plate and out of play. And slicing down, it just hits in the grass. That was towering once again, but a bunch of fans and kids chase after that foul ball.
Waiting for the day where we get a foul ball.
Would you go after it, try to make the catch, or are you going to take the headset off and run?
More importantly, I'm trying to protect our equipment here.
2-2 waved at and missed. A good breaking ball for the 5th strikeout of the night for Jasiak, and now 1 out in the 5th.
We've had some foul balls come our way. I actually thought that foul ball may track our way because it was behind us directly, but then the wind keeps shifting balls closer to the field of play. So I thought maybe it would have a chance to come our way, but fortunately it stays a few feet away.
So I have to bring this up now that we're talking about this, because how often do you see a broadcaster make a catch on a foul ball? Not often.
No. You have a story. Have you done that?
I have not. But here's Porter Brown as he bunts it foul on the first pitch. It's 0-1. So one of my good buddies, Jake Eisenberg, who was a Chatham Anglers broadcaster for a summer. I don't even know what year. But now he's the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, the AAA affiliate of the Royals. A couple weeks ago, in a booth behind home plate, a foul ball came up, and he caught it with one hand during the game while calling the action. And I don't think I've ever seen that before. So
The only one that comes to mind is earlier this season, the Texas Tech broadcaster had that happen. As the pitch to Brown, he fouls off the helmet of Smith, now 0-2. Earlier this season, I remember the Texas Tech broadcaster put his hand out and caught it on one hand and started laughing on air, and then later said off air how much pain he was in because it just came right at him on a line, and he stopped it barehanded. So, a baseball never fun to catch barehanded, but especially on a line.
0-2 pitch misses low in the dirt to make it 1-2. I think if it's coming at me, I'm going after it to make the catch, and I'll worry about the pain later. But you rarely see that, so maybe it'll happen. We've been close a couple of times, like you said. 1-2 breaking ball, and that one's hit on the ground towards our way, about a foot above my head into the netting. So that one would have hurt a lot less if it came towards us, but the fence right in front of us protecting us.
I remember one time at the Division II College World Series, which is in Cary every year, and I don't live too far away from there. I went for a liner barehanded as Brown goes down swinging for the second out of this inning. I went for a liner in foul territory and didn't have a glove, and afterwards the stitching of the ball was imprinted in my hand for a day or two. It was just, you could see it sitting there, and my dad was telling me how stupid I was to go for a ball with no glove, but it was in the moment, so.
It's a nice tattoo of the stitches.
It is.
Here's Nick Biddison 0-1 tonight. And the first pitch from Jasiak misses inside. Jasiak's really settled in now. 6 straight retired. 2 straight strikeouts. He has 6 Ks on the night. Count 1-0, and here's the pitch from Jasiak. Fastball hit in the air into right field. Borfin's got it camped under, and he makes the catch. The routine play out in right to retire the side. 1-2-3 inning again, the second straight for Jasiak, and now 7 straight retired. Still just 1 hit through 5 innings for the Whitecaps. We go to the 6th inning. It's 8-0 Commodores.
Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember the recycling empty cans, bottles, and all other recyclable materials. It only takes 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap. Whether it's life insurance to safeguard your loved ones, an umbrella policy to protect your team driver, or making sure your home is covered from storm damage, Rogers Gray is there to guide you. Insurance is more than just a box to check. Trust Rogers Gray, a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want to be. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA D3 athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 15 master's programs at www.curry.edu.
Connor Stain still on the mound as we go into the top of the 6th. Stain going in to his 3rd inning of work through 2 so far. The first was rocky, the second almost rocky, but he was able to buckle down after getting 2 outs and 2 base runners after that. Strike out Cody Colden to end the inning. So now we go to the 6th with the top of the order due up for Falmouth. Boyers, Taylor, and Borfin, which has been such a success in this game so far. Boyers is 0 for 1, but has reached base 3 times, and he rips the first pitch on 1 hop to Thompson at 3rd, and the throw takes the first baseman Simpson off the bag, but he's able to readjust and step on it just in time to retire Boyers, who was sprinting down the line.
Boyers with so much speed, so it forces Thompson at 3rd to have to make a quick throw, and it took the first baseman Simpson off the bag. The first base umpire for tonight, Chuck Furlong, right there to see that play and able to see that the toe of Simpson just hanging onto the bag, and so that picks up the first out. First time tonight Boyers hasn't reached.
Here's Braden Taylor, who is a triple shy of the cycle, and the curveball comes in on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. A single in the first, a double, an RBI double, and a run in the 3rd, and then a 2-run homer in the 4th. Braden Taylor swinging a really hot bat all season. Stain in the windup on the mound, ahead 0-1. Pitch to Taylor is hit in the air into center field, and that drops in for a base hit once again. Taylor with his 4th hit of the night, still a triple shy of the cycle, but now he's got 2 singles, a double, and a homer.
Incredible piece of hitting tonight by Braden Taylor. After going 0 for 4 last night, it's easy to come away from that game and be frustrated and be down and, all your emotions getting the best of you. But Taylor comes down tonight and just turns it on and really rewrites the script. 4 for 4 now on the evening.
Here's Jace Borfin. Hit a solo home run his last time up, and the curveball goes in for a strike on the first pitch. It's 0-1. Borfin's last home run was probably the farthest of the season. Just got lost in the forest of trees beyond right field. And off the bat, all kinds of emotions behind us from the fans. Staying set, and the kick towards the plate. 0-1 breaking ball gets away from Biddison, and moving up to second easily is Taylor. So now runner in scoring position for Borfin with 1 out.
So we've seen tonight, furthest home run of the season for Falmouth, probably the best defensive play of the season for the Commodores, and then also one of their better offensive showings, too, just in total with these 8 runs scored. So really everything clicking tonight for this Commodores team. We should also throw in one of the best starts of the season as well by Jasiak.
So now runner in scoring position with 1 out for Borfin, and the 1-1 pitch from Stain. Fastball missed low and in. 2-1 to Borfin. Commodores scored 8 runs against Chatham on June 29th. That was pretty much their last solid game. They matched that total here. They scored 8 on June 27th at Hyannis. 2-1 breaking ball fouled away into the right side to make it 2-2. They scored 9 at home against Harwich in their 5th game of the year. 8 against Bourne. 8 against Ware. So they've scored 8 several times. 9 still the number that is their most on the year. In their 13th game, that was 8 games ago. Stain set on the mound. Looks at second to Taylor. 2-2 pitch to Borfin. Is ripped into right field, and Jones ranges over. Past him as he dives forward, and it rolls all the way to the fence. Braden Taylor held up at second. Now he comes in to score easily. Borfin sprinting all the way around the bases. He gets the third standing up. We'll see how it's officially scored, and they're already giving him a hit. It's an RBI triple for Jace Borfin, and the onslaught continues. It's 9-0, tying the most runs in a game scored this season for the Commodores.
Well, Jones out in right field trying to match up what what Luke Boyers did earlier this ball game, and almost able to, but he just got his glove under it. It tipped off the top and then continued to roll out into the fence. So that allowed Borfin to get all the way over to third as the first pitch to Curiali popped foul. And so the triple happens tonight, just one hitter late, because we're keeping our fingers crossed Braden Taylor will get an opportunity.
Borfin probably has the 2 hardest ones to get, the homer and the triple. 2 RBIs now for him. Curiali with a 2-run homer already tonight stands in, and now he's behind 0-2 after the foul ball and a swing and a miss. Staying on the mound with 1 out and a runner on third base. 9-0 the score. Connor Stain spent 2 years at Maryland, now in the transfer portal after their pitching coach, Corey Muscara, left for a job at Wake Forest this offseason. And the 0-2 breaking ball misses low to Curiali. He lays off. It's 1-2. So when the pitching coach who recruited you leaves for a different job that has gotten a couple of pitchers in the portal for Maryland. Connor Stain, one of them. Sam Bello, the other, who is also a Brewster Whitecap. We might see him tonight. And the 1-2 pitch missed inside to Curiali, just getting his elbow out of the way of it. Now it's 2-2. That was a couple days after the season ended. Corey Muscara leaves for Wake Forest from Maryland. That's just going to shake things up a little bit for the pitching staff. 2-2 to Curiali, and it bounced in the dirt to make it a full count. Stain, a really good high school career, went 19-6 on the mound, a 1.70 ERA, and he led the Wolfpack to a sectional championship. He was first team All-State and the 2018 and 2019 MVP. And Curiali drills the 3-2 pitch into left field. Brown ranges back right up along the fence to make the catch. Borfin will tag from third easily, and he steps on the plate to make it 10-0 Commodores. 10 is the most they've scored this season now. And this is just an absolute onslaught. A really good at-bat from Curiali to work the full count, and then he gets the sacrifice fly for his third RBI of the night.
Well, I can say with confidence, neither of us expected this tonight. This Commodores team just coming out of nowhere to bring across 10 runs tonight. And after the showings the last few days, certainly wouldn't have predicted this. But the offense and pitching finally clicking once again.
Armstrong rips the first pitch on a line into right field on one hop, and it goes into the glove of Simpson after a couple hops then. So a 2-out single for Armstrong, his third hit of the night. Came into tonight 0 for 9 leading up to this. And now he's 3 for 4 tonight.
And this is Armstrong, one of the guys who's had a phenomenal night tonight. After Braden Taylor, I would definitely say Chris Armstrong's probably been the next best player for this Falmouth team at the plate. Armstrong 3 for 4 tonight after coming into tonight 0 for 9 on the year, and certainly hungry for that first base hit. He has shown tonight that he may be the first baseman to come for this Commodores team, and that the job is his to lose, because he's been real solid defensively over there, and his bat now starting to come to life, so he's showing it on both sides.
Taylor Smith stands in. He's 1 for 3 tonight. A single, a fly out to center, and a strikeout. And the first pitch from Stain misses low. 1-0 the count to Smith. 10 runs on 13 hits and no errors for Falmouth. 13 hits has to be their most. We'll get that to you when I'm able to confirm it, as the pickoff attempt goes over to first. 10 runs is their most. And 13 hits is officially their most of the season as well. So this is the best offense we've seen from Falmouth all season. And the 1-0 pitch comes in on the corner for a strike to Smith. It's 1-1.
And hey, knock on wood, but also no errors tonight, which would be just the third time this season that Falmouth has done that.
And through 5.5 almost of where we are now, 5 innings of pitching for Falmouth at least. It's been the best start by any starter on the mound. Stain set for a while, now the 1-1. Drilled in the air into deep left center. Taylor Smith bat flipped it, and that ball is long gone in left center field. A no-doubt blast for Taylor Smith, and it's a 2-run home run to make it 12-0 here in the top of the 6th. The 5th home run of the night for Falmouth, and the 2nd of the season, and the 2nd in as many days for Smith.
This is unbelievable. I mean, this is crazy. Taylor Smith now, like you mentioned, Matt, 2 home runs in 2 days after really struggling at the plate to start this season. And I think what's most remarkable about so much of this is, especially against Connor Stain, or actually really in this entire ball game, so many of these runs have been scored with 2 outs, and Falmouth has done such a good job of attacking Stain when there have been 2 outs here in his outing thus far. Continuing to do so here, tack on 2 more with 2 outs tonight. So the 2-out rally for this team has been unbelievable tonight, and the offense just, we're running out of superlatives to describe them.
No runs in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third. Now 4 currently in the sixth with 2 outs.
Said it earlier, keep feeding them whatever they had for dinner last night.
And here's Bryson Ware. The first pitch from staying out of the windup is a fastball for a strike. Connor Stain looking to bounce back. He's given up 7 runs to this Commodores team. And the breaking ball is a called strike on the outside corner to make it 0-2. He's given up 3 home runs, 1 to Taylor, 1 to Borfin, and 1 to Smith. And the 0-2 pitch to Bryson Ware just misses high. Biddison thought it was strike 3. But it moves to 1-2 the count. Ware picked up his first home run of the season last night. And the 1-2 pitch. Fastball below the knees for a ball. It's 2-2. This is just the most lopsided game we've seen all season for the Commodores. It's got to be up there around the league as well. And the 2-2. Waved at and missed on the outside corner. Ware went down chasing. And that ends the inning. But 4 runs come across in the top of the 6th. A single for Taylor, then an RBI triple for Borfin, a sacrifice fly for Kiriali, and then a single for Armstrong and a 2-run homer for Taylor Smith. Is how they bring across 4, and they lead 12-0. And Tyler Tuthill is going to come to the hill. Jasiak's day is done, but what a start for him as we head into the bottom of the 6th.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 restaurant and try their famous colossal lobster rolls. Piled high on grilled brioche and served hot buttered, or with just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the right deal. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit miltoncat.com. Your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. On the hill for the Commodores from Appalachian State, number 21, Tyler Tuthill.
So as I mentioned before we went to break in the middle of the inning, Tyler Tuthill now on the mound after Jack Jasiak deals up the best start by a pitcher for the Commodores this season. 5 scoreless innings, just 1 hit off of Jasiak, 1 walk off of Jasiak, and 6 strikeouts for the South Florida Bull. And the first pitch from Tuthill, he'll face 9-1-2. Faltini takes inside. It's 1-0. Really can't say enough about this start from Jasiak tonight. As the 1-0 is popped up to the right side, that'll go foul. That is out of play. And it's now 1-1.
Yeah, Jasiak, I mean, he had such a good outing tonight. I mean, easily his best of the season, and like you mentioned, best for any starter for this Falmouth team. We had seen good starts over these last few days by Commodores pitchers, but finally tonight getting it alongside the offense and everything clicking for this team tonight. Jasiak helped set such a good tone early in this ballgame by retiring the first 6 batters he faced, and in his 5 total innings, only allowing 2 base runners, each of which came in the 3rd.
Breaking ball missed up, and now the 2-1 pitch is drilled through the left side for a base hit. That was a line drive through the infield and then rolled all the way into the glove of Sayer and left. And so Tuthill allows the second hit of the night and the first batter that he faces.
And Tuthill comes in after being really solid his last 2 outings, both of which came against Hyannis. And his last 2 outings, a combined 4 innings pitched, only allowed 1 hit and 7 combined strikeouts. So he gives up the leadoff single there to Faltini, but, I mean, 12-run cushion here. He has a little bit of room to operate with. Obviously, he wants to have a good outing, though.
And the first pitch to Davis is hit high in the air. He's trotting, walking out of the batter's box. That ball is long gone. Over the left field wall and over the trees just to the left of the scoreboard. Back-to-back hits makes it 12-2 now. And the first exclamation point of the night, really, off the bat of Colin Davis. His second hit of the night. And all of a sudden it's 12-2, but I mean, he pimped that, David, and you're down still 10 runs. That's a little questionable in my eyes, but it's 12-2 nonetheless.
Not only did he drop the bat and just stare at it for a good 3 or 4 seconds, he also, as he went past the Commodores dugout, he kind of saluted them. I'm not really sure what he was trying to get at there. Yes, it's his second home run of the season, and you know, obviously he's capable, and I'm all for showmanship, but when you're down by 10, there's a time and place for it, and focus more on your team coming back than on the all the exclamation points on yourself.
So all of a sudden, 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 runs on 2 hits in the inning. And Tuthill now faces Thompson. And the first pitch missed inside for a ball. It's 1-0. So we've seen hitters go all over the yard tonight for home runs. It's been an absolute hit fest. That was the first for Brewster. And a ball comes into Thompson to make it 2-0. Tuthill looking to respond with nobody on base now out of the windup. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball had some pace on it on the outside corner and high for a strike. It's 2-1. Davis put a charge into that one over left field, but a long way to go for Brewster as the 2-1 breaking ball calls in for a strike. It's 2-2.
And still plenty of time, but this is a Brewster team where offense is not their strength, and they have not scored double-digit run totals at all this season, and currently down by 10.
Nasty curveball from Tuthill gets the strikeout, a swing and a miss from Thompson. He's 0 for 3 tonight, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, good job by Tuthill to respond after giving up the single and then the home run. Come back and on just a few pitches, able to set down Jake Thompson as he's now 0 for 3 tonight. So recollecting yourself, that gives a big boost of confidence getting that first strikeout. And now a pinch hitter going to come up for this Brewster team.
So Alex Freeland will pinch hit for Zach Neto. Freeland out of UCF, freshman infielder. And Neto went 0 for 2. Freeland swings at the first pitch, skies it into left center field. Sayre moves over to his left, and he makes the catch in the gap. That was a towering fly ball, but an easy routine catch for Sayre out in left field, and now there's 2 outs.
Also, give up the home run and then a strikeout and then the pop out. So even more confidence here for Tyler Tuthill, who's starting to settle in on the mound. And like I said when he came in, he's been so good for the Commodores this season. And yes, he gave up the 2 runs there. But with this lead, you just brush that off and you reset, find yourself again. And he's doing that here in the back half of this inning.
Another pinch hitter, Mac Bingham, is going to pinch hit for Spencer Jones. And the first pitch falls in for a strike. It's 0-1 to Bingham. Bingham out of Arizona, replacing the Vanderbilt Commodore, who went 0 for 2 tonight. And the 0-1 is popped up right behind home plate. That'll go out of play onto the playground that is directly behind the backstop. An interesting spot for a playground to be, albeit this is an elementary school. But in terms of baseballs flying out of play and going onto the playground, pretty interesting to put it that close.
I will say there's a net on top of the playground that's supposed to stop fly balls if they come that way, which is the good safety feature of it. But that ball was just an inch over from the netting.
0-2 breaking ball, line to the right side. Curiali a couple steps to his left to make the catch. Well, if that was a fastball hit the other way, probably would have had a lot more pace on it to go into the outfield, but the breaking ball is just looped on a line by Bingham to the second baseman, Curiali. And after the 2-run shot from Colin Davis, it's now 12-2. Falmouth leads by 10 once again as we head into the 7th. And when we come back, I'll pass the play-by-play microphone back over to David to take us home.
We have some defensive changes for the Whitecaps. Now in at third base is number 7, Cooper Weiss. Now in the right field is number 6, Mac Bingham. Joe Faltini is now over at shortstop. The second baseman is now Alex Freeland, number 24, and the new pitcher is number...
Back here from Brewster, where Falmouth leads 12-2 over the Whitecaps in what's been their best offensive showing of the season. And a new pitcher in Dylan Simmons comes into the ballgame here for the Whitecaps as he relieves Connor Stain after his 3 innings of work, in which Stain gave up 7 runs to the Commodores. And the first batter of the inning is Alex Sayre, who takes ball 1 on the outside part of the plate. Also, for those of you scoring at home, some defensive substitutions here for Brewster, as Mac Bingham is now out in right field. Alex Freeland, who came in as a pinch hitter in the bottom half of last inning, is playing at second. Trey Faltini moves from second over to short, and Cooper Weiss now into the ballgame playing at third for the Whitecaps. Count sits at 2-0 here on Alex Sayre. And the pitch here from the right-hander Simmons is low and away for ball 3. Simmons from Florida State, making his 3rd appearance of the season for the Whitecaps, has pitched in only 1 inning in each of his 2 appearances, and both of those outings came against Bourne as the 3-0 delivery to Sayre right down the middle for strike 1. So Stain's day done after giving up, like I mentioned before, a total of 7 runs to this Falmouth team, several of those coming with 2 outs to the Commodores, and the 3-1 deliveries down low, so Alex Sayre able to reach via the walk, and he stands down on first. Brennan Malone going to come in now as a pinch hitter for Falmouth in place of Cody Colden here in the 9th spot. Colden, the only starter tonight for Falmouth to not pick up a base hit and to not even reach base for that matter as well. As Brendan Malone digs in now. And with Alex Sayre leading off of first, the first pitch from the stretch here from Simmons is down low for ball 1. So Simmons has thrown a total of 6 pitches so far, 5 of which have been balls, and still trying to find that strike zone. He comes set on the mound, the right-hander. Stands at 6'3", and now comes over with the delivery for a strike here on Malone. Count now 1-1.
Well, we'll see how Trundy moves over the infield now with Malone coming in place of the shortstop Colden. We'll see that in the next half inning.
1-1 delivery here from Simmons. A breaking ball outside. Ball 2 now on Malone. This season, Malone hitting .083. He's 2 for 24 at the plate with a total of 10 strikeouts. He does have 4 walks on the season. And he's ahead in the count 2-1 here on the right-hander Simmons. Comes set And with the ball, Letter High delivers the pitch as it's fouled back over our heads and behind us. And the count now 2-2 here on Malone. So Falmouth tonight with a run in the second, 4 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth, and 4 more runs in the sixth to get to their 12 runs tonight on 14 hits. Both of those numbers, their highest of the season. And this Brewster team has been really solid all year pitching as the 2-2 here from Simmons, a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and Brendan Malone goes down looking for the first out of this inning. But on the season, Brewster coming into tonight had allowed 47 total runs, which was the second fewest in the league and the fewest in the Eastern Division. They did allow earlier in the year a 19-run game to Orleans, a 19-6 loss for Brewster. So take those 19 runs out in the Orleans game and the 12 runs out tonight for a total of 31 runs. And this team has only allowed 16 runs across its remaining ball games as the first pitch to Luke Boyers gets away from the catcher Nick Biddison. So moving to second, here's Alex Sayre. But in the I got to do some math here real quick. 10, 12, minus 2. In the 10 games, Brewster had only allowed 17 runs, taking out the Orleans game and tonight's contest. So overall, the pitching has had 10 impressive games and 2 really bad games. I guess now actually 11 really good games and 2 really bad games because this is game 13.
Oh, that 19-run performance by Orleans a couple of nights ago against Brewster. They got the rematch last night, and Brewster was able to win. But, I mean, tonight this is just an onslaught for the Commodores, and a wild pitch now again allows Sayre to move up to third. So he gets on with the leadoff walk. He stands on third base without anybody putting a ball in play. That, aside from all the home runs and everything, is kind of the story for this pitching staff tonight.
And like you mentioned, Matt, Sayre has been able to move from first to third here on a couple wild pitches as the count sits at 3-0 here on Luke Boyers. And Dylan Simmons going to ask his catcher Biddison to go through the signs again. Looks in for them and now has them as he holds the ball chin high. 3-0 pitch home is over the plate for strike 1 here on Luke Boyers. Boyers tonight officially 0 for 1, but he reached twice via the walk and once via an error, and has come home to score twice. 2 of these 12 runs for Falmouth. 3-1 pitch from Simmons down in the dirt, but Boyers waves at it, and the count now full here on the TCU product. Oh, we've seen this Falmouth team be so aggressive at the plate in the early portion of the season. Over the last week, the bats had really gone quiet. And here tonight again, exploding for some more runs. 3-2 pitch here on the payoff, and it's a breaking ball in at the knees for strike 3 as it's called by the home plate umpire. So back-to-back looking Ks for Dylan Simmons, and there's 2 gone here in the inning.
Well, here comes the most successful hitter in the lineup tonight. Braden Taylor, 4 for 4, 3 runs, 3 RBIs, a triple shy of the cycle. Let's see what Taylor can do with a runner on third.
He digs in here, the left-handed hitter, and he looks on at Dylan Simmons. Simmons has the sign, and now set. No look towards third as he comes home with the pitch, and it's down low for ball 1. You think Taylor comes to the mind knowing that he's a triple shy of the cycle? I know some guys keep that in their mind. Other guys don't even realize it. What do you think he's thinking?
I think because of the score he probably is, because he's so loose right now, up 10. You're not really thinking too much about winning or losing this.
1-0 hit to straightaway center is going to his right, Colin Davis, and it's going to stay in play. That ball hit on a line by Braden Taylor, but just a few feet from going out for what would have been his second home run of the day. So after the leadoff walk allowed to Alex Sayre, Dylan Simmons able to retire the next 3 batters, and we move to the bottom of the 7th. Still 12-2 Falmouth here from Stony Brook Field.
The first prize is a $15 gift certificate to the Whitecaps souvenir trailer behind home plate. Number 6149229. The second is a $20 gift card for Stone Lovin' Pizza on Underpass Road in Brewster, 539206. We have 2 admission passes for the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History on Route 6A. This is a $20 value, number 539089. A $15 gift certificate for Harwich Paint and Decorating on Route 137 in Harwich. number 796490. A wine tasting for two at First Crush Winery on Main Street in Harwich. A $30 value, 720776. 4 rounds of mini golf at Harbor Lights Mini Golf on Underpass Road in Brewster. Number 796904. A photography session valued at $300 with William F. Pomeroy Photography and Graphics, the official photographer of the Brewster Whitecaps. Number 614856. A Hyannis Harbor Cruise for two from Highline Cruises, 720704. A Cape Cod Canal Cruise for two from Highline Cruises, 797061. A $20 gift card for Beach Fire Beach Towels, 614942. A $10 gift certificate for Brewster Wine and Spirits in Foster Square in Brewster, 720592. And for half the money, number 538989.
We go to the bottom of the 7th, and another new pitcher on for Falmouth as Tommy Summer comes in for his second outing of the season. The senior out of the University of Indiana, who last pitched on June 30th in the 5-2 loss to Hyannis. He went 1 inning in that appearance and struck out 2 batters and only faced a total of 3. And he comes in here with Falmouth on top by 10, leading 12-2 over the Whitecaps. Sean Goosenberg will lead off the inning as 5, 6, and 7 set to come to the plate here for the Whitecaps. And Goosenberg takes strike 1 at the knees. Couple of defensive realignments and a substitution. Brennan Malone now in at third. Braden Taylor moves from third to second. And Curiali moves from second to short as the 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss from Goosenberg. Now the count 0-2. So the left side of the infield and part of the right side shifts around, but everything else stays the same here for the Commodores as Summer now ahead in the count 0-2 and make it 0-3 as he gets the strikeout to start off this inning. So now 3 strikeouts and 4 batters faced this season for Tommy Summer, and there's 1 gone.
Well, those two guys familiar with each other. Goosenberg out of Northwestern, Summer out of Indiana. And the Hoosiers win the battle there. Tommy Summer goes and attacks all Big Ten first-team player in Goosenberg, and really good job by Summer.
First pitch to Will Simpson is pop foul on the right side. And just at the edge of the fence, Chris Armstrong able to come over and make the grab. Again, another ball on the right side of foul territory that looked like it was going out, and the wind keeps it in play. And now Will Simpson talking about something with the home plate umpire. Not happy that he was called out. I don't know what he could be complaining about because Armstrong caught the ball.
I think there's a certain limit to what's in play and what's not over there because of how deep it goes back in that spot in foul territory in right field, also where the bullpen is. I think he was arguing that the line of the dugout to the bullpen is where it stops, and if anything to the right of that goes foul, it would be out of play whether you catch it or not. That was so close to that line, and that's part of like the ground rules things that the umpires and coaches talk about before, but their coaches didn't even come out to talk about it.
Count sits at 1-0 here on Porter Brown, and now 2-0 is the second pitch down in the dirt and away as the count runs in Brown's favor. Falmouth on top 12-2 here over Brewster in the team's first meeting of the season. Falmouth's largest run total of the year. 2-0 pitch here from Summer is outside, now 3-0 on the TCU hitter. Tonight, Brown is 0 for 1. He walked back in the third, and then he struck out swinging back in the fifth. 3-0 pitch here from Summer is high and away, and a 4-pitch walk that's worked by Brown. So Brown will take the trot down to first here with 2 outs in the inning. And that brings up Nick Biddison, the Virginia Tech catcher. So just waiting for Biddison to take off his catcher's gear because he was standing on deck with 2 outs in the inning. So he's got it all off now, and he's all set to go as he digs in here with Brown leading off of first and 2 outs here in the inning. So for the first time tonight, Summer will work from the stretch as he holds his holds the ball chin high, and a look towards first comes home, and the first pitch is low and inside for ball one. Sun continuing to set here over Stony Brook Field. Starting to get a little overcast as well. And again, there's no lights here. We probably only have about 40, 50 minutes left of game play as the 1-0 pitch from Summer fanned on for strike one. I have to assume, though, that at times throughout the season, Brewster gets games called before 9 innings even get to be played. So Summer set here, a look towards first. Couple looks back. And now the 1-1 delivery home is upstairs to make the count 2-1 here on Biddison.
Yeah, Katuitt with no lights, YD with no lights. Those fields also games that maybe don't get complete every night, even if it's not raining or whatever. You'll see a final in 8 or final in 7 even if they're longer games and the sun's setting earlier.
Here's the 2-1 pitch from Summer, and it's down in the dirt as it's able to touch down just behind home plate. So now they count 3-1 on Biddison. Summer retired the first 2 batters and then issued the 4-pitch walk to Brown. And Biddison here could potentially be the second walk of the inning. Summer set, and the IU Hoosier comes home, and it's popped up on the right side foul, and this one will find its way out of play as the count runs full here on the Virginia Tech hitter. Falmouth back on the road tomorrow night to take on Bourne. Braves now with 1 loss on the season, a record of 9-1-2. And we'll get you a look at how they're doing tonight here after this pitch as Summer comes set with it. No look towards first as the payoff comes home. And it is able to catch the inside corner for strike 3. So despite issuing the walk, Tommy Summer able to pick up a couple of Ks here in the inning. And Brewster held scoreless yet again as it's still 12-2. And just an FYI, Bourne scoreless with Orleans. We move to the 8th here from Stony Brook Field. 12-2 Falmouth over Brewster.
Pitcher on the hill for the Whitecaps. Wearing number 43 from Texas Tech, Brendan Goodwin.
We move to the 8th here from Stony Brook Field with Falmouth on top 12-2 over the Brewster Whitecaps, and a new pitcher on for Brewster is Brendan Girton. Will take the mound for the second time this season for Brewster. His lone outing back on June 28th at YD went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, allowed 1 run, and struck out 3 batters in that inning. And he comes in here late in this ballgame to take on the Commodores.
Good job by Simmons in his 1 inning. Won an inning, no hits, no runs, a walk, and 2 Ks. That was just the 3rd time Commodores went scoreless in an inning in that top half of the 7th. So, I mean, it's just been an absolute offensive night for this team.
So leading off the inning will be Jace Borfin, with Michael Curiali and Chris Armstrong also due up here for head coach Jeff Trundy's team. And Nick Biddison is going to go talk out with his catcher, or excuse me, Nick Biddison is going to go talk out with his pitcher before this inning can get going. And now Biddison as well as Gurton on the same page. And so we'll get this inning going here with Jace Borfin stepping in the left-handed hitter's box. And he looks on at Gurton. And the Big 12 matchup comes home for strike one. Borfin tonight with an RBI, or with a home run and a triple, I should say. 2 for 4 on the evening as the 0-1 delivery from Gurton is low and away for ball 1. Borfin coming into tonight hitting .342 for the Commodores. One of 2 guys in tonight's lineup, actually the only guy tonight, hitting above 300 for Falmouth. Ducart, the only other guy who's still hitting above that 300 clip, is they count now 2-2 with the pitch from Gurton on the outside corner. So Borfin, the only guy in tonight's lineup hitting above 300 and looking to continue to add to it as the 1-2 delivery here. As a slow chopper back towards the mound, Gurton comes off of a long underhanded throw, but it's over to the first baseman, Will Simpson, in time for out number 1. So aside from Pete Hansen and Connor Stain, the pitching so far for Brewster has been rock solid, granted just an inning and a third of work from them. But they've been able to hold Falmouth pretty much off the base path so far, just a walk that they've issued. And the first pitch here to Michael Curiali runs in on him, and it catches a portion of his foot. And so he's going to take the trot down to first. Fortunately, he wears that shin, ankle, foot guard, whatever you want to call it. And so it was in that vicinity. So he takes the 90-foot jog down to first base, and he's on for the second time tonight. So Curiali leads off of first with Chris Armstrong digging in now, who's had a really impressive night, playing in his 3rd game as a starter for the Commodores as he swings through strike 1. Tonight, Armstrong 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a home run. Sits behind in the count, 0-1 here does the Florida Gator. Falmouth on top by 10. Gurton comes set, a couple head nods over towards first, and now the delivery is a breaking ball hit on the line, down towards right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it's gone. Chris Armstrong goes yard for the 2nd time this ball game, and Falmouth back on top by 12, make it 14-2. Commodores over the Whitecaps in what is just continuing to be an onslaught here at Stony Brook Field.
Beautiful piece of hitting from Armstrong. Got a fastball over the plate and put it out into right field, and the wind continues to push it that way. So with the help of that, it would have been a home run regardless with the way he hit that ball. Finally saw his first hit come this season in the 2nd inning. Since then, he's had 3 more, so he's got 4 tonight. Once you get that first one, they just start coming.
What a way to come out tonight for Falmouth as Taylor Smith digs in now. Smith, another guy with a home run tonight. He went out to left center in his last at-bat in the 6th. He takes ball 1 upstairs from Gurton. And now the 1-0 delivery from the Texas Tech pitcher is on the outside corner for strike 1. Gurton originally from Gage, Oklahoma, playing down in Lubbock with the Red Raiders. And here's the 1-1 delivery from the right-handed pitcher. Big swing and a miss from Smith, and he falls behind in the count 1-2. Falmouth leading 14-2 here this evening. There's only been 3 innings where the Commodores have been held scoreless: the 1st, the 5th, and the 7th. Otherwise, the Commodores have plated runs in every other inning. 1-2 delivery here from Gurton is up and away, ball 2, and the count now 2-2. If they do this every night, that would be fun to watch. Team having a lot of fun tonight. Certainly going to be an enjoyable bus ride back to Falmouth as the 2-2 pitch down in the dirt, and the count runs full here on Smith. We're not on those bus rides, but I can only imagine how much more fun it is after a game like tonight versus last night.
Oh, yeah.
So Smith digs back in here with a full count that he stares at. The pitch from Girton, swing and a miss, and he's able to pick up his first strikeout of the night as Taylor Smith set down for the third time this evening. And that's the second out of the inning with Bryson Ware coming up. So Bryson Ware, another guy in this lineup who does not have a base hit tonight, has reached on both a fielder's choice and a hip batter, but still looking for that first base knock as the first pitch to him is in for a ball. Ware also one of the only guys in the lineup to not come around and score as the second pitch of the at-bat down in the dirt, and the count now 2-0 here to the Auburn hitter. Wind still heavy here at Stony Brook Field. Girton has his sign, and the 2-0 pitch comes home, and it runs inside on Ware, now 3-0. Well, assuming Falmouth holds on tonight, they'll pick up their 5th win of the season and improve to 5-6-2 as the 3-0 pitch is over the heart of the plate for strike one. Ware thought it was going to be ball 4. He started to walk down to first, but he comes back now with a 3-1 count.
Just a bit low on that call.
Here's the delivery from Girton, and that one is low and inside. So a 5-pitch walk that Bryson Ware able to work, and he heads down to first still with 2 outs here in the inning. So like I was saying, Falmouth looking to pick up that 5th win of the season. Brewster will drop its 5th game of the season and also end a 2-game winning skid, or a winning streak. Falmouth will end its 4-game losing skid. And that's assuming Brewster doesn't score 12 runs over the final 2 innings. First pitch here to Brennan Malone, or check that, Alex Sayre, I should say, is in for strike one. We're leading off of first. Girton comes set. And from the stretch, after a couple of head nods, the pitch home, and Sayre fans on it for strike 2. So behind in the count quickly here, 0-2. Some other scores from around the league. Wareham on top of Katuitt, 5-2. YD on top of Chatham, 5-0. And the only other game in the league other than this one, Bourne and Orleans scoreless in the top of the second. And on the third pitch of the at-bat, another swing and a miss from Sayre as Brendan Girton picks up his second strikeout of this outing. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Not before Falmouth plays 2 more runs in the top half of the inning and now leads 14-2 here over Brewster. Tommy Summers still on the mound for Falmouth as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Commodores leading 14-2 here over the Whitecaps in the first meeting of the season between Brewster and Falmouth. Summer going into his 2nd inning of the evening. He faced 4 hitters back in the 7th, issued 1 walk, but otherwise unscathed. And he's still on the mound here as Brewster will bring up 9-1-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Trey Faltini will lead things off, now playing over at short for Brewster. Faltini tonight, 1 for 2 in his Whitecaps debut. And the first pitch here from Summer comes home and fanned on for strike 1. So Brewster working through the lineup here for the third time tonight, and it's about to issue back over to the top. What'll be the fourth time through the lineup. But Falmouth tonight, most of their hitters have come to the plate a total of 5 times in this outing. The only guy not to, Cody Colden, as the count now 1-1 here on Faltini. So Falmouth doing a really good job of just continuing to send guys to the plate tonight, as Faltini with a big swing and a miss on strike 2. Summer looking for his 3rd strikeout here of this outing. He's ahead 1-2, and the left-handed IU Hoosier comes home high and away for ball 2. During that last half inning, Sweet Caroline playing through here, as you hear through so many ballparks in this region of the country, thanks to the Red Sox implementing that many years ago, as the 2-2 pitch is a soft roller over towards the Commodores dugout, foul. But a song that resonates at so many ballparks and so many stadiums, sporting events, you name it. Summer looking in for the sign, and he comes home now with the 2-2 delivery to Faltini, and Faltini off of his shin as it rolls back into the field of play. He seems to be fine. I think it went right off of that guard, so the count remains 2-2. You have a ballpark song that, you know, either resonates with you or you love to hear?
Piano Man in the 8th inning at Citi Field.
There you go. The inner Met in you coming out here. 2-2 pitch from Summer. Fanned on for strike 3. That's now 3 Ks here through an inning and a third for Tommy Summer. And there's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Summer just throws strikes and he attacks hitters. He's not afraid of anybody in the order, whether it's the 9-hitter or now coming up the 1-hitter. He's going to attack you. He's going to throw strikes, and that's going to be it.
Here comes Colin Davis now, who's the man responsible for the only 2 runs that Brewster has scored tonight. A 2-run shot back in the 6th. And a check swing on the first pitch from Summer is fouled into the backstop for strike 1. So we're back at the top of the lineup. 4th time tonight through for these Brewster Whitecap hitters. Summer shakes off a couple signs from his catcher, Taylor Smith. And now he's set from the windup. The 0-1 pitch way upstairs for ball 1. Well, I think I saw that Billy Joel's coming to Fenway around the end of our regular season here in the CCBL.
Better make the playoffs so I can go.
1-1 pitch home is hit on the ground over to the left side, fielded by Curiali, who's now at short, throw across the diamond. Not in time. They're going to say that Armstrong was off the base. He can't believe it. The first base umpire, Chuck Furlong, there to make the call. And so safe at first is Colin Davis with his 3rd base hit of the night. And that brings up Jake Thompson.
Interesting call there. I thought it was close, but I thought his foot stayed on the bag, and the throw was on the target. He just had to stretch for it, which brought his foot off the bag a little bit.
Here's Jake Thompson now, the 2-hitter in this lineup. And Thompson fouls the first pitch into the backstop. So Davis has 3 hits tonight, Brewster with 4 in all. You can look at him for being a big source of the offense. And a correction, Cooper Weiss actually in now as a pinch hitter for Brewster. Pinch hitting for Jake Thompson. So Weiss, the 2nd pitch of the at-bat, hits into the air along the right side of play, right around the edge of foul territory. Coming in to make the grab, Taylor, as he called off Armstrong late. So Taylor makes the grab there for the 2nd out of the inning.
Those pop-ups to the right side tonight have been dangerous for the fielders. Wind swirling, it's going every which way when the ball reaches its height. And then all of a sudden when it comes down, it goes a different direction. So everybody's had to adjust. Haven't really seen a mistake yet, but Brayden Taylor, I mean, that's a hard play to make. He was under it, and then all of a sudden it goes away from him. He has to dive and fall over for it.
Here's Alex Freeland, who came in as a pinch hitter back in the 6th and popped out to left. Comes up with 2 outs here in the inning and takes ball 1 high and away from Tommy Summer. Wind still blowing hard out to center field. Sky's getting darker here over Stony Brook Field. There's the 1-0 delivery from Summer. Fouled into the backstop right in our direction. There was a fence in front of me, but for a moment forgot that. And so you had your hand out, though. You were going to save me. I have no doubt had that fence not been there.
Oh, I'm catching that. I told you earlier.
1-1 the count now. We'll get a foul ball at some time this season. I have no doubt. So many more games to be played and so many different broadcast venue locations that we'll have the opportunity to make that effort as the 1-1 is high and away here on Freeland. Fans have slowly trickled out here from the ball game. Plenty still remain, but stands not nearly as full. It's cooled down from where we were at the beginning of the game. It was in the high 70s at the beginning, and probably now in the mid 60s or so as the count runs to 3-1 here on Freeland. Falmouth back at home on Friday. Certainly hope to see you at the Gov as they take on YD in the team's second meeting of the season. And here's the 3-1 as it's popped up behind home plate. And the count runs full as it hits off the pavement, and more kids will go chase to it.
Little kid wearing a John Lester Red Sox shirt just dove for that in the grass.
John Lester on the Red Sox, blast from the past. So the count now full here on Alex Freeland with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th and Colin Davis on first. Armstrong not even holding Davis. As Summer now with the payoff pitch home and a tying away. This inning will continue as the walk worked there by Freeland.
That's the second 2-out walk issued, the second walk as well by Summer. But when he gets the 2 outs, he's allowed base runners on after that. Now he's got to face another pinch hitter.
Mac Bingham, who also came on. Yeah, he came on as a pinch hitter back in the 6th. And he lined out to Curiali at second. Well, when Curiali was still at second. And the first pitch of this at-bat hits hard on the ground, foul down the third base side. So the count now 0-1 here on Bingham. Falmouth on top 14-2 here over Brewster. An incredibly lopsided game. All Falmouth from the get-go. 1 run in the second, and then that took the bats off and running for this Falmouth team. I think for all of us, it feels good to not have to feel like a broken record and keep repeating the issues that this team has had. As the 0-1 is in at the knees for strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes here on Mac Bingham. Tommy Summer trying to get through his second full inning of work, already through an inning in 2/3. Has his sign as he comes set. A look towards home. And now the delivery home from the stretch upstairs above the head of Mac Bingham. And the count now 1-2. So Falmouth tonight with the win will go up to 12 points in the Western Division. Be tied with Cotuit. Cotuit currently losing. And the 1-2 delivery, fanned on and missed for strike 3. So another K for Tommy Summer as he picks up his 4th strikeout of this outing. And they're going to call the game. They're going to call the game due to darkness. So Falmouth wins it after 8 innings by a score of 14-2. We'll get to the game recap in a minute. Before that, we have a more important recap. Joanne Bethay with tonight's food review.
You know, that's my favorite part of these away games. So tonight I got to have another Italian sausage with peppers. I had one at Wareham, had another tonight, and I will have to say that I think Wareham's might be better. So that's my hot take so far on Italian sausage. This one was more of a sweet sausage, and Wareham's was kind of a spicier one, and that's what I like personally.
Any peppers and onions on it, condiments, anything like that? Or
Peppers and onions.
Peppers and onions.
I will say also a difference is usually they don't make me pay for them, but I had to pay tonight. But it did go to the public school systems around here, so that was all right. It was for a good cause, yes.
There we go. Well, always glad to get you on, Joanne.
Yes,
Be sure to go on Twitter, everyone, and I assume it's on Twitter?
It is, yes.
Go check out that food review here in Brewster. But so to get back to the game, Falmouth wins at 14-2 in 8 innings. Calling the game here at 7:35 due to darkness. We were wondering whether or not it was going to get called, and sure enough, they do that here in the 8th. So Falmouth wins it. They improve now on the season to 5-6-2. And Matt, tonight, fun. It was fun.
It was fun. It's their best game of the season all around. I talked about it several times off the air with Brewster's broadcasters and everybody around here. What's the trend of this team right now? 4 straight losses. Well, they couldn't pitch, they couldn't hit in the same game at all over that stretch. Tonight, they did exactly both, and they did more than hit tonight, scoring 14 runs. 14-2 is the final score. 15 hits, their run total and their hit total, the most of the season in a single game, and their starting pitcher, Jasiak, gave them the best start of the season. So, I mean, when you really break it down, this is the best overall game that they've played all season. And to snap a losing skid of 4 games in a situation like that, come out and play on the road and play like this, that's going to give you some life back in the clubhouse.
Falmouth with 6 total home runs tonight, which easily the most in a game for them this season. And this is a Falmouth team that had hit home runs here and there, but didn't have too many coming into this ball game, and they explode for 6 tonight.
Well, the wind was a help to that, but they did hit the ball awfully hard, and they hit it all over the place, mostly to right and right center field. The ball and the wind is still blowing. The American flag's still blowing out there, but it just carries that way. It's just an absolute wind tunnel, it seems like. It's going out, a fly ball looks like it's going to be a routine fly ball, and it just goes over the fence. But tonight, 6 of them. Twice they went back-to-back, and it was up and down the order that was contributing, and that's really the big thing to see. Last night, 3 hits. The only 3 hits that came for the Commodores were home runs. Tonight, 15 hits, 6 of them home runs, so just a little less than half. But still, when you're hitting that many home runs, you're probably in a situation to win, but also adding on the other things, the singles, the doubles. We saw a couple triples tonight. Timely hits. That's what gives you the runs tonight.
So Falmouth victorious by a final of 14-2. The Commodores also with 15 hits in the ballgame. Both of those numbers season highs, the 14 runs, the 15 hits, and for the 3rd time this year, no errors committed out in the field of play. Jack Jasiak gets the win tonight. Pete Hansen is the losing pitcher, and the save not a factor here in this ballgame. Commodores improve to 5-6-2 on the season, and Brewster drops to 6-5-2 on the year as well. So that'll do it tonight from Stony Brook Field. Certainly hope to have you alongside us tomorrow night at 6 o'clock from Bourne, as the Commodores will close up this 3-game road stretch against Bourne at 6 o'clock for the team's first meeting of the season up in Bourne. For my broadcast partner, Matt Levine, our sideline reporter, Joanne Bethea, and our entire crew back in Falmouth, David Adar here from Brewster, signing off. Falmouth victorious 14-2. Thanks for tuning in all night long. Certainly hope you enjoyed the many hits, the great pitching, and the outstanding plays that these Commodores made. Hope to catch you with us tomorrow night. Until then, have a great evening. That'll do it tonight from Stony Brook Field.